From 10, we're ready for kick-off at Goodison. Connor.
Thanks very much, Steve. Lovely evening for football as the players take a knee ahead of kick-off. This is a designated no room for racism game at Goodison Park. A warm applause around the stadium in recognition of that. And it's a lovely evening here. Still loads of daylight in the sky. We won't be saying that again for months. It's tea time kick-off for a Saturday in daylight with the clocks due to go back. We might as well savour this. Everton in blue, Fulham in white. We are underway at Goodison Park. Fighting for possession in the midfield. Doucouré gives it to Harrison on the right hand side, pushes it down the right wing, and Fulham will regain possession with Calvin Bassey. I don't know how many shopping days there are to Christmas, but I know we're on the way to winter because the high-vis ball is in use, the bright yellow ball in the Premier League from this weekend. So Everton unchanged from their last game, the 2-0 win against Ipswich. Notably, Jared Branthwaite is back on the bench this evening, so that's a boost for Sean Dyche. Fulham, one enforced change from their last game when they were beaten by Aston Villa. Red card for Joachim Andersen means he's suspended, and Issa Diop has come into the team instead today. As Tarkowski here on the edge of his own penalty area in danger of giving the ball away, and he does, and now he's got to try and get back into position as Andreas Pereira has it on the edge of the penalty area that Fulham attack, and then he tries to get on the receiving end of a pass back again from Kenny Tete. Andreas Pereira takes a tumble. Referee's not interested in a free kick, and that'll be a goal kick for Jordan Pickford away to our left hand side. A big welcome back to Goodison Park for Conor Cody, who of course knows every blade of grass down on that pitch, and good to be back here today, Conor.
Really good to be back. Thanks for having me, Conor. No, it's a pleasure to be back here, see a few friendly faces who I've seen before the game, and it's always a beautiful night in this part of the world, Conor. Thank you very much.
Indeed. I can testify that is not the case. We still haven't brought out the big heavy winter coat this season, but it's due to happen anytime soon. I'll give you a rundown of the teams in just a moment. But Tarkowski here turns and rolls the ball back to Pickford away to our left hand side. 78th Premier League game in a row for Jordan Pickford. He hasn't missed one in almost 2 years. Long pumping ball forward from him. Robinson backpedaling for Fulham, tries to win the header. Andreas Pereira in danger of giving it away here, and he does, to Idrissa Gueye, who's making his 200th Premier League appearance tonight. Calvert-Lewin picks it up here down the right hand side for Everton, and Bassey stretches to put the ball out of play. So Everton with Pickford in goal, back four of Ashley Young on the right hand side, Tarkowski and Keane in the middle, Mikalenko at left back, Doucouré with Idrissa Gueye in the middle of the midfield, Harrison is wide right, Ilman Dye wide left, Dwight McNeil in this new number 10 role that he's been relishing, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the attack for the home side this evening. Fulham's team with Bernd Leno, the goalkeeper, back four Tete, Diop, Bassey and Robinson. In midfield, Pereira alongside Sander Berge. Sander Berge has now started 3 Premier League games in a row. His first starts for the club in the league. Adama Traore wide right, Alex Iwobi, another former Evertonian wide left, Emile Smith-Rowe in the hole with Raul Jimenez leading the visitors' attack. Kenny Tete has possession just outside his own penalty area, and he'll roll it back to Bernd Leno wearing all yellow away to our right hand side. 3 minutes played at Goodison, 0-0. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Premier League's Saturday tea time kick-off. Issa Diop to the right hand side. Fulham, who've lost their last 2 games in a row, and Marcus Silva really could do, Conor, with a positive result here this evening.
Oh, without a doubt, Conor, without a doubt. I think beyond the back of 2 bad results, I think you've always got to kind of stop the rot when that comes. And listen, it's a big game for Fulham, it's a big game for both teams. Obviously Everton on the back of a big win last weekend as well, and as they're on the break now, they're playing some good football at the minute.
Good interception by Ashley Young. He pushed one down the channel. He sort of gave a puzzled look, outstretched arms there, because he thought Calvert-Lewin would be onto that a bit smarter, but as it is, Fulham regained possession, and they'll bring it out from the back with Calvin Bassey.
A lot of the time, Conor, I'm just going to say there, Everton play really well with the territory in the first 10-15 minutes of the game. They play longer into the corner, they try and get themselves up the pitch and really settle into the game quickly like that.
So this is Diop up towards the halfway line. He's attempted ball over the into Everton territory, was cut out by Ilman Ndiaye, who I think is very much becoming a favourite of the Everton fans. He works really hard, he's great to watch in the dribble, he's so hard to force off the ball, and I think Everton fans like the cut of his jib. They like what they see of him, hoping that he can add to the goals tally now, as well as Everton have possession inside their final third. Idrissa Gueye put under pressure, will give it back to Michael Keane, whose attempted clearance away is blocked by Raul Jimenez, and Keane deals with the threat and nods the ball back to Jordan Pickford. Michael Keane, who scored an own goal against Fulham in the League Cup last season. That was last December here at Goodison. That was a tie that Everton eventually lost out on penalties in the end. As Tarkowski here looks to play it out. Idrissa Gueye with a lovely swing of the hips avoids Andreas Pereira, and Everton work their way through the press. Here comes Mikalenko over the halfway line on the left hand side. Again, it's a through ball for Calvert-Lewin to chase after, but Diop steps down the accelerator, gets there first, and Fulham clear away down the right hand side. 0-0.
Really good defending from Diop, Connor. Really good defending. He's reading it. I mentioned before about Everton trying to play that territory, trying to play the balls into the channels for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to run in behind, but really good reading the play from Diop there.
Should be a good aerial battle today if Everton can deliver the crosses, and if Bassey and Diop can get into those aerial battles with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know that he loves competing in that area. Here is Diop again, midway inside his own half, turns and rolls it back to Bernd Leno once again.
I can't tell you, Connor, how hard that is to defend when Dominic Calvert-Lewin is challenging for ball. What he does really well is when Jordan Pickford's kicking it long, or one of Everton's centre-backs, he starts off your shoulder and comes late out of sight. So as you've got your eye on the ball, you can't see Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming from the side here, and his leap and the way he hangs in the air is fantastic. And listen, Everton play it really well when they do it.
He's got that NBA basketball technique of just hanging in the air, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He has got 2 Premier League goals this season, scored twice against Fulham in a League Cup game 3 seasons ago. Here comes Raul Jimenez, 10 yards outside the penalty area, tries to let fly from distance. Tarkowski bravely lunges himself in front and makes the block, and then Pickford, who stepped outside of his penalty area, looked a little uncertain as he cleared the ball away, fell off his feet, Jordan Pickford, but at least he got the ball away to safety. Raul Jimenez, who was shaping to shoot there a full 10 yards outside the penalty area. I did see earlier on this month he played for Mexico, and he scored a free kick from miles out against the USA, so he's clearly got that sort of range in him. Here's a cross into the penalty area from the right hand side, and it is an attempt by Jimenez, and it's a save by Pickford, and that's the first shot in anger of the game.
I tell you what, he's playing with confidence, Connor, isn't he? He's playing with confidence. Just a little nudge on Tarkowski's back, just to give him that little bit of space to hit the half volley, and it was straight at Pickford. But when you go back to the goal, I seen that goal, Connor, for Mexico. It was an incredible free kick. He wrapped it into the top corner, but he's a player playing on extreme confidence at the minute.
Raul Jimenez, 10 goals in his last 12 Premier League starts. He was at Leicester last night, where Chris Wood continued his goal scoring run. What a run he's been on for Nottingham Forest, and only Erling Haaland has scored more Premier League goals than Chris Wood this season. Throw in by Tete on the far side, gets it back from Raul Jimenez. Fulham do well not to give the ball away at Ama Traore to Sander Berge back near the halfway line, but the visitors holding on to possession here. Fulham nothing if not consistent in terms of their pattern of results. It's the 3rd season in a row that Marco Silva's team have had the exact same start. They won 3, lost 3, drew 2. They did that 2 seasons ago, they did it last season. They've had the same record of results from these first 8 games of this campaign, and it's been interesting. You look back in each of those previous years, Fulham have always lost the 9th game. This is the 9th Premier League game for them here today at Goodison Park, as Bassey rolls the ball into Diop inside the centre circle. No real high press from Everton. They're happy for Fulham to have it there in that central third. It's only when Fulham come further forward that they'll get closer. Keane lunges in on Raul Jimenez, and Everton do regain possession. Here's Ndiaye. We mentioned he's difficult to hustle off the ball. Look at him go. Brushes off Tete, supported by McNeil. Now the ball over the top. Calvert-Lewin, I think, went a fraction too early. No flag yet. Down he goes in the penalty area. Challenge from Kelvin Bassey. The referee had kept up with that and says no penalty. My feeling at the time was that he would have been offside anyway.
Yeah, he looks a little bit offside, Connor, to me. It was a great run. We mentioned that ball a few times now in commentary. It's a great ball in behind, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin will run all day into them channels. But I did think he just strayed offside a little bit, but it's good play from Everton.
Everton hoping to take advantage of the absence of Joachim Andersen and get in behind this Fulham defence. 8.5 minutes played, Everton 0, Fulham 0. Here is Ndiaye running across the field from left to right as Everton go forward midway into Fulham territory. Ashley Young here feeds Harrison infield to Dwight McNeil. Back again to Young. Good ball to Harrison. Everton are letting the ball do the work. He tries to stab it over the top, but it's too close to the goalkeeper, Bernd Leno. Good ideas from Everton. They just need that execution to fall into place for them.
I'll tell you what, Conor, I think he was onside there with that chance, and it's the ball in behind. And listen, we've mentioned a few times just that ball in behind, what Everton do to gain territory up the pitch. And you see now with Everton's back four, they're on the halfway line. They've got the ball in the opposition half. OK, Fulham have the ball, but they're setting up ready for that press.
Earlier on today, Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1. Ross Barkley opened the scoring. Evan Nielsen levelled it up for Bournemouth. There was a really exciting game, Brentford against Ipswich. That might well lead match of the day tonight. 4-3 to Brentford in the end, as Iwobi back at Goodison feeds it into Raul Jimenez, now Adama Traore tries to return it to the middle. Michael Keane makes the interception. Everton get it back again. Idrissa Gueye helped out by Doucouré. Doucouré neat and tidy on the edge of his own penalty area. Here now is Harrison scampering away down the right hand side, but Anthony Robinson, who's a defender I'm always really impressed with, wins the ball off Harrison and Fulham get it back again. 0-0.
He's a fantastic fullback. He really is. He's a fantastic fullback. He gets up and down. He's a real modern day fullback, the way he wants to attack, but in terms of being a defender, a 1v1 defender, he really excels in that way as well.
Brighton and Wolves drew 2-2 today at the Amex. Manchester City beat Southampton by a goal to nil. They go back to the top of the Premier League. Liverpool play at Arsenal tomorrow. That's the 4:30 game you can listen to live here on 5 Live. Throw in for Fulham, left hand side as they come forward. We're live on Merseyside this Saturday evening. 5 Live on BBC Sounds. Match of the day tonight from 10:20 on BBC One, where you can catch all the day's action. Here's Emile Smith-Rowe rolling it back to Diop again. Diop to Kenny Tete, who has started all of Fulham's Premier League games this season. He lobs one over the top for Adama Traore to run after, but the sideline beats him to it and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Everton. Conor Cody.
Yeah, I tell you what, Conor, Everton just seem to be sitting in a little bit, letting Fulham have the ball in and around the halfway line, and waiting for Fulham to make the mistake a little bit, and it shocks me a little bit with what Goodison can get like when you get after the ball and Everton get on the front foot and make a few tackles, because Goodison then gets up and they thrive off that at this place. So you want to make sure you're doing that. You want to make sure this crowd is behind you, but Fulham are controlling the game pretty well, but Everton trying to counter with them balls into the channel.
Iwobi's beaten to the ball by Tarkowski. Raul Jimenez though gets a touch, so Fulham hold on to possession. They're inside Everton territory as Kenny Tete gives it into the tall Sanderberger. Now Bassi will come forward from the centre circle and rolls it to Anthony Robinson on the left hand side. Ball in field to Iwobi, and good work by Doucouré closing down Alex Iwobi, and the ball goes out of play for a Fulham throw, just about 5 yards short of the penalty area they attack down the left hand side. Last touch off Harrison as the ball goes out of play again, and it is a Fulham throw once again. Both coaches down on the edge of the tiny technical areas here at Goodison Park. Marcus Silva with the dark sweater, tight-fitting trousers, hands in the pockets. More casual look for Sean Dyche in his tracksuit down there in trainers. Both just a few yards away from each other, giving little delicate instructions, not bellowing anything, just little manoeuvres that they want individuals to adapt to. 12 minutes played, no goals. Emile Smith-Rowe on the halfway line for Fulham, gives it up to Iwobi, veers in field off the left wing, good ball to Andreas Pereira. Raul Jimenez takes it off him, returns to the Brazilian international into the penalty area, can't get a shot away though. Everton relieved to clear that one back to the halfway line.
Yeah, good play from Fulham, real good play. They're using Raul Jimenez a lot. Alex Iwobi's coming inside, linking with Pereira really well, but they're using Raul Jimenez really well, whether that be from crosses, whether that be coming to feet and setting. He's playing really well, and Fulham just having a little spell at the minute of controlling the game.
Yeah, and here comes Emile Smith-Rowe to the byline on the left hand side. He's controlled it inside the penalty area. Tarkowski comes across. Everton were appealing that the ball had gone out of play initially from Emile Smith-Rowe, and I think that is what the officials are agreeing with. It's not a corner, it's a goal kick to Everton away to our left hand side. Marco Silva, who when he was Everton boss the 2018-19 season, he finished 8th in the table. That's been his highest Premier League finish as a manager, and Everton, by the way, since he left, they've never finished higher than 10th. But he was sacked the following year, sacked December 2019 when Everton had a poor start to the season and in the relegation zone. But Marco Silva back on Merseyside this evening, where Fulham have a good record. Fulham unbeaten in the last 6 meetings of these clubs. Long clearance from Pickford. Bassi gets up and wins the header. Harrison tries to control it on his knee. Pereira will attempt to get it back down to the deck, but Idrissa Gueye is so good at that. He just nips in when a player's waiting for a ball to come down off a bounce or something. He's in to make the interception, and Everton have got it back again. Here's Ashley Young, right hand side, white boots, low to the feet of Jack Harrison. Low ball in early to Dwight McNeil, 15 yards outside the penalty area that Everton attacked. They've yet to really threaten Bernd Leno in this game. We've played almost a quarter of an hour. Mikalenko's up from left back, rolls it to the feet of Idrissa Gueye in the lime green boots, plays it in towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Robinson gets the header ahead of him. Everton do regain possession, but they're back at the halfway line, 0-0.
Yeah, better from Everton. They're now playing in the opposition half. They're playing in Fulham's half, moving the ball pretty well. Like I said, Dwight McNeil finding them little pockets to get on the ball. Doucouré a little bit higher and crosses into the box. That's what Everton's about, and playing with a little bit of high tempo.
We've got 4 Premier League games tomorrow for you on 5 Live. It's West Ham against Manchester United from 2. Arsenal against Liverpool starts at 4:30. You can also hear Chelsea against Newcastle on Sports Extra tomorrow. That's from 2 o'clock. And Palace against Tottenham will be available to listen to via the BBC Sports website. Here is Tarkowski, 10 yards inside his own half. Everton playing from left to right in their home blue jerseys. As McNeil plays it back to Tarkowski again. Now he goes long and expansive, and he's looking for Ndai. It was an ambitious crossfield ball that would have needed to carry accurately 70 yards there, and it was cut out by Kenny Teddy out for an Everton throw.
He's got that pass though, Connor. He's got that pass. I played with him. I love playing with Tarkowski. He's a fantastic player. He's an even better person. Brilliant character, great captain. But he's got that pass. Honestly, I don't think many people really think that of him, but he really has. He's got the quality to make them sorts of passes.
Fulham will be wary of it. Tete was pleased to make the interception that time. Smith Rowe plays it back awkwardly to the edge of his own penalty area, but Diop deals with the danger. Robinson infield to Emile Smith Rowe. Fulham showing a good bit of confidence here. They're willing to play their way through the Everton press. Smith Rowe into the midfield. Raul Jimenez hooks it out towards his old Wolves colleague Traore. But Ndai is able to nip in, and then with a little trick flicks it away, but too fancy, he's given it away. Smith Rowe pops it over the top. Keane well positioned for Everton. Tied up against the sideline under pressure from Traore. He turns and plays it out for a Fulham throw, so Fulham remain in the attack. 0-0, they attack down the right hand side.
Michael Keane started really well, Connor, really well. He's coming across, he's sensing danger, he's cutting out the pass to Adama Traore really well when Mikalenko's getting dragged out. He started really well, and I actually think he started the season really well the way he's playing. You can see now with Jared Branthwaite being back with how he's playing, and he's kept his place in the team. Yeah,
Michael Keane, who has already played more Premier League starts this season than he did in all of last season. So back in favour, but as Conor alludes to there, with Jared Branthwaite back on the bench, there is choices, there is competition for places for Sean Dyche in defence. Let's get an update from the tea-time kick-off in the Gallagher Premiership. Saracens against Leicester. Here's Chris Jones.
Yeah, 15 minutes gone, Connor. Leicester lead by 3 points to 0. Both sides shorn of their England internationals, but plenty of young guns and world superstars still on show. One of them, Hon Pollard, has kicked the Tigers into the lead. Saracens can go top if they win, although Bath currently sitting there after they eased past Sale. 16 minutes gone. Saracens 0, Leicester 3.
Thanks, Chris. Live boxing on 5 Live tonight from 10 o'clock. Manchester's Co-op Live Arena. Chorley's Jack Catterall in action. You can listen to that here on 5 Live. As Mikalenko's given the ball away in the edge of his own penalty area. Raul Jimenez into Emile Smith Rowe. Good tracking back by Doucouré to unsettle him, and Smith Rowe wasn't able to get a shot, but that was a problem for Everton there, and that's not the first time that a sloppy pass at the back has nearly opened the door for Fulham here, but 0-0 it remains.
It was, but it was a sloppy pass from Raul Jimenez Wayne. He got himself in a lovely position. He was in that little half and half position just to receive the ball off the mistake from Mikalenko, and it was just a bobbly pass into Smith Rowe. I think if the pass is smooth, I think Smith Rowe can then take a touch and have a shot on goal.
Here's Iwobi inside the centre circle, socks down low. Doucouré gets in ahead of him on the edge of the Everton penalty area and regains possession for the home side here, and Ashley Young rolls it back to Jordan Pickford. Jimenez has got a rush in on him, and the England goalkeeper scuffs it away. He didn't look comfortable there with the Mexican bearing down upon him, and he's disappointed. I think maybe with his first touch there, Pickford, as he goes back and kicks the post.
Yeah, I think it was his first touch, Connor, but just look at Ashley Young's reaction as he turns his head looking at Jordan Pickford. It's absolutely fantastic, because obviously Pickford is frustrated. I don't know whether it's with himself or Ashley Young.
Young on high alert to get inside the penalty area, heading the ball to Tarkowski, whose clearance is more up than away. Then Sanderberger stretches, can't get a clean connection. Doucouré for Everton. Back down on the deck by Dwight McNeil. Possession changing hands regularly here as Bassey at the back picks out Iwobi. Good little swivel turn. Harrison fouls him. Free kick to Fulham right in front of the technical areas down below us. Fulham keen to get on with it. Free kick taken quickly. Emile Smith Rowe back to Bassey. It's been competitive so far these opening 19 minutes. Not a whole lot between the two teams. Tete back in field to Calvin Bassey again, another who started every Premier League match for Fulham this season. Here is Iwobi, tries to skip over Ashley Young, and the last touch came off Ashley Young. That's going to be a throw-in to Fulham. Ashley Young, whose first ever Premier League goal of his career 18 years ago came in a game against Fulham. That was when he was a Watford player. He scored twice in that match. That's the day that everyone sat up and take notice of him. What a career he's had ever since. And Ashley Young, who turned 39 in July, still going strong and keeping Seamus Coleman out of the Everton team today.
Yeah, incredible career, absolutely incredible career. What he's done, and the fact that he's still playing. And listen, I play with somebody else who's 38, in Jamie Vardy. Fantastic footballer, still doing what he's doing. And Ashley Young's no different. The career he's had in the Premier League and what he's still doing now is fantastic.
Let's go for an update in the Aberdeen-Dundee United game in the Scottish Premiership. Kenny Crawford is at Pittodrie.
19 minutes gone, corner Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0. Sizzling sellout atmosphere in the northeast of Scotland. The Granite City, the best chance so far, falling to Tope Keskinen, the Finland winger who's played against England a couple of times recently. A tame shot though, straight at goalkeeper Jack Walton. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
Thanks, Kenny. Pass by another Kenny Tete was too far in front of Adama Traore, who we know is scorchingly fast, but he wasn't going to get onto that ball to the byline, which goes out for an Everton goal kick away to our left hand side. Sean Dyche is making a few points to his backroom staff. You've more insight than us, Conor, as to what he might be saying down there. What do you reckon your old gaffer is, what's the point he's trying to get across here?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at him there, and I think when Fulham have control possession at the back, I think he's wanting Ndiaye or Ghana Gay to jump to try and get pressure on the ball. We mentioned before about Everton just being a little bit quiet at the minute, just sitting off, letting Fulham have the ball. He won't be wanting that. He'll be wanting Everton on the front foot to go and receive the ball, and you can see him now in terms of getting ball into territory. But I just think when Everton haven't got the ball, they need a little bit of pressure on the back too, and I don't know whether that'll come from Ndiaye on the opposite side or Ghana Gay jumping from midfield.
Everton have had the lowest possession stats of all Premier League teams this season, but that's not necessarily a problem for the way Sean Dyche likes his team to play. He doesn't mind if the opponents have it for long spells, as long as his team can be effective when they do have the ball. As Bernd Leno, the German goalkeeper, comes way outside his penalty area here, standing with his studs on the ball and almost enticing a defender to come and attack him. You feel that Fulham would love to draw Everton out here, to smoke them out, get them to push up a little bit, to maybe create space for Adama Traore to run in behind, but Everton aren't biting that particular bait.
No, they're not, and that's football in general now. You see a lot of it where keepers come out and they walk with the ball, Connor. They walk forward and they want to bring strikers in, because then it becomes an overload anywhere, so they try and entice the striker in to then play out through the press. Fulham
used to have a dreadful record here at Everton. They lost their first 14 Premier League visits here, but in recent times that tide has turned. Fulham have won on each of their last 3 Premier League trips here to Goodison. They've won in the last 4 games here in all competitions. Calvert-Lewin, good work on the halfway line, but Doucouré's relieved of possession by Sander Berge. That's very good for the Norwegian. And here comes Emile Smith-Rowe, powering his way into Everton territory. Iwobi plays it infield. Good first touch by Raúl Jiménez, but alert defending by Tarkowski, and he clears it away for Everton. Fulham trying to move through the gears, trying to be a bit more fluid, but they're unable to break through Everton's central rear guard so far. We're midway through the first half, 0-0 at Goodison on 5 Live. Diop stretching to get there ahead of Calvert-Lewin. A few drones from the Everton fans who wanted their team to regain possession there. Sander Berge is the deepest lying Fulham outfielder, and there's no press on him as he brings it up towards the halfway line.
Makes me think a little bit, Connor, are Everton sitting off a little bit because they're scared a little bit of the pace of Adama Traore? It could be the case with how we've seen him playing this season.
It's definitely possible. Iwobi crosses on the right hand side and it bounces kindly for Pickford. He had 2 to aim for there. Pereira had made a good burst into the penalty area. Raúl Jiménez was in there too. The cross was just too high for the pair of them, and it fell into the arms of the Everton goalkeeper. Back to Saracens, Leicester, Chris Jones.
18 minutes to go to half-time. 2 quick tries. Nick Tompkins for Saracens. Good offload from Tom Willis. Tompkins under the post, but Ollie Hassel-Collins is hit back in the corner for the Tigers, converted by Pollard. Saracens 7, Leicester 10 after 22 minutes.
Thanks very much, Chris. Free kick to Fulham here, just inside their own half. Robertson takes it, rolls it back to Calvin Bassey. If Dominic Calvert-Lewin was to score today, he would move ahead of Tim Cahill. He would be outright 3rd place on the list of Everton goal scorers in the Premier League. He would have Lukaku and he would have Duncan Ferguson just ahead of him. And there's a target for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who so far has been kept quiet by the Fulham central defenders. Fulham working their way up towards the halfway line, but Traore loses out against Mikalenko, and it's a throw into Everton, which is taken quickly. Ndiaye. Free kick fouled by Kenny Tete. Free kick to Everton. Now, they haven't had many of these. A set piece inside the opposition half. Interesting to see how ambitious they are here. How many of the defenders move forward. Looks like Keane and Tarkowski are both going to go up.
Everton like these situations, they do, but that came from Everton's press. We mentioned before about Sean Dyche trying to get orders on. Now Dwight McNeely's jumping to Diop, and that's given the chance for Garner Gay to then jump on Sander Berge, and that came from Everton's press, just being a little bit more aggressive without the ball to go and try and win it back.
Dwight McNeil's got to take the free kick. It's only 15 yards into the Fulham half. Fulham defenders are holding a offside line well outside the penalty area here, but there's a big channel for McNeil to try and strike it into. It's played in towards Tarkowski. He wins the header. Doucouré, it's a header on target, but saved by Bernd Leno. Not much pace on it, but at least it's an attempt from Everton. And now they've got to get back as Fulham tried to launch the counter-attack. Robinson down the left-hand side. 0-0 between Everton and Fulham on 5-line at Goodison. He's still going, Robinson. Infield to Emile Smith-Rowe. Takes a tumble on the edge of the box. The referee was right beside that. And John Brooks waves away what he said was too easy a going to ground by Emile Smith-Rowe. Then he does give a free kick to Everton just inside their own half.
I think it was a dive, Connor, wasn't it? I think it was a dive. I think it was one of them where he's just trying to win the foul. He knew he was in a little bit of trouble and he was just trying to get something out of the situation. But going back to the free kick from Everton there, Tarkowski is so dangerous in them situations. The ball across the box and a header back across for a chance for Everton.
Tete takes it down on his chest on the edge of his own penalty area. Clears away right-footed up towards Raul Jimenez. A cushion touch for Adama Traore, leaving Idrissa Gueye in his wake, and now he's got Emile Smith-Rowe pushing it on further to the left to Iwobi dancing over the ball. He's got Ashley Young in front of him. Back in field to Sander Berge. Everton have got full complement of players back behind the ball again now. Tete, right hand side for Fulham, doesn't see an easy pass forward, retreats back to the two central defenders again. Bassi out to the near touchline to Alex Iwobi again. Ashley Young is a little drag in his arm. Iwobi plays the 1-2 with Robinson, and now he's spotted that Adama Traore's got a bit of room on the right hand side. Trapped on the instep of the Spanish international. Mikalenko's not lunging in, standing off Adama Traore. Disappointing cross with his left foot straight at Michael Keane, whose clearance up into the air is one back for Fulham. And Tete, a few groans from the Everton fans again as their team don't challenge for the ball sufficiently. Tete just outside the Everton penalty area on the right hand side. Raul Jimenez waiting patiently in the middle, but no easy access route to him or any other Fulham attacking player for the moment. Tete has it on the right hand side, back to Sander Berge again. Fulham, of course, who don't have João Palhinha this season. What a good player he was for them in recent campaigns. Now with Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, but Sander Berge has been brought in to play that role. As Fulham have it with Iwobi on the left-hand side. Harrison is back helping out Ashley Young. Iwobi's cross is not a good one, taken down on the chest by Mikalenko. Oh, he's given it away, Mikalenko, and Adama Traore is in, and he shoots from a tight angle, and Pickford makes the save. He brought himself rather wide there, Traore. That angle didn't need to be as tight as it was. Pickford still makes a very good save as Jimenez back into the middle, and Smith-Rowe puts it over the top. That's the best chance of the game. Cushioned header back by Raul Jimenez, and Emile Smith-Rowe couldn't keep it down.
Two massive chances, Connor. Two massive chances. Brilliant from Adama, but his first touch just takes him away from goal. It really does, and it makes the save a little bit easier for Pickford. Great save, but a little bit easier. And then a great cushion header back from Raul Jimenez. And I think Emile Smith-Rowe should do better with the chance.
Two chances in very quick succession, and Everton relieved that this Premier League game is still at 0-0. Raul Jimenez was involved in setting up both of those opportunities. It's not just the goals the Mexican scores, it's the creativity, the awareness of where his teammates are that are very much evident. But that's a template for Fulham, how they can get in behind this Everton defence and how they can trouble Pickford. And Smith-Rowe, who's got 2 Premier League goals so far this season, he really should have given the visitors the lead here. 0-0 it remains at Goodison. Back to Chris Jones at Saracens.
Yeah, another couple of tries here, Connor. First Leicester, great take, Anthony Watson. Eventually Isaiah Parise scoring, but a wonderful break from Gonzalez for Saracens. Sweel's gone under the post, only playing because of a late injury to Alex Scoot. He'll convert this. It's going to be a 1-point game. Saracens 14, Leicester 15, almost half an hour gone.
Nice Chris, 0-0 at Goodison between Everton and Fulham. We haven't reached the half-hour stage yet. Fulham have had the most dangerous chances. Here come Everton though. McNeil, right channel, rolls it in front of Harrison. Robinson does well to get back, getting really close to prevent any chance of a cross, but it is at the cost of a corner to Everton. This is their first corner of the game.
It is, but it's a great pass from Tarkowski into Dwight McNeil, into them little pockets that he seems to be getting himself in recently in the last few games. It's a brilliant pass, and then he's turning, driving at the back forward. It's a lovely little pass, and there's a big chance for Everton these. I think we all know how good they can be from set pieces.
Yeah, set pieces so important to Everton. A very high ratio of their goals come from free kicks and come from corners. And Dwight McNeil has got both hands raised as a signal. Short run up, just 2 paces, in swinger. Robinson wins ahead of the front post, but he hasn't cleared it outside the penalty area. Raul Jimenez very much does an up and under, a habit clearance as he booms the ball back down into the other end of the pitch, and Young will touch it back to Jordan Pickford. McNeil's corner kick delivery unable to pick out a teammate there, but Everton will hope that they can get a few more attacking set pieces because they're struggling to create chances from open play. Tarkowski to Doucouré. Everton with possession midway inside their own half.
Going back to the set plays there, Connor, the amount Everton work on set plays is unbelievable. When I was there under Sean Dyche on a Friday, you would work on them for a good hour, and I actually think with that set play there, when Dwight McNeil put both hands up, I actually think he's going to the back post. I don't think it was great for him because you see in Everton set up everybody going to the back post, but the amount they work on them, there's no surprise that they are really good at them.
This is Ndai rolling the ball back to Michael Keane. Ashley Young infield to Idrissa Gueye. Everton trying to get a passing rhythm going, but Fulham are working hard off the ball and they force the home team to retreat back to the goalkeeper once again. Pickford to Keane. Michael Keane, who's been in the goals this season, already 2 Premier League strikes, scored in the win at Ipswich last weekend, very good finish. Young here sends one down the channel for Calvert-Lewin, and he's done well to get in ahead of Bassi, but Bassi is strong, stands his ground and plays it back to the goalkeeper Bernd Leno. Makes a lot of willing runs, Calvert-Lewin. He's got to put in a lot of effort and hope that one of these passes comes his way.
Oh, he does, and he's a very selfless player. The way he runs into the channels, I mean, we mentioned a lot about the way Everton plays and that ball going into the channels. He's very selfless when it comes to that, but he's such a big player for Everton Football Club, and having him fit is a massive factor to Everton doing well.
0-0 here at Goodison. Earlier on today in the Scottish Premiership finished Dundee 1, St Johnstone 2. Ross County beat Kilmarnock by 2-1, and Aberdeen are playing Dundee United this tea time. Here's Kenny Crawford.
1.5 hour mark, corner. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0. Still no major chances, just that Topi Keskinen shot from earlier on. But remember, Aberdeen haven't lost a league game since March against Dundee. It's an unbelievable run they're on this season. 14 games unbeaten, 13 of them wins. They're trying to go top of the league tonight. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
Idrissa Gueye back off the crossbar, followed in by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it's not going to count. The offside flag is raised, and Everton, who briefly thought they'd taken the lead, are brought back down to earth. Idrissa Gueye walloping it off the crossbar. Calvert-Lewin react to the quickest, but the flag goes up. VAR will check to be sure it's the right decision.
Of course they will, like they always do, but what a strike from Idrissa Gueye. He absolutely whips the ball, it dips over Bernd Leno and crashes off the crossbar. It's a brilliant strike, and just looking at it now, it just seems a little bit close, Connor.
That is not cut and dry. There is another Everton player, but not involved, not interfering with play in an offside position. Calvert-Lewin, at the very least, is tight here. We don't have a very clear look at it. They're just readjusting the exact moment when it left the boot of Idrissa Gueye, and it's tight. It's tight. Is there a defender? Is it Kenny Tete above him? Is there any chance that he's level with it? I'm looking at the decision stand. They've decided it is offside. Well, we've now had 2 big chances at both ends. We had Emil Smith-Rowe putting it over the top. We've had Calvert-Lewin into the back of the net, but fractionally offside. He had a tea-time game here that's beginning to warm up at Goodison, but that could have been a key moment for Everton.
100%, but you're just hoping now that it gets the Goodison Park crowd up a little bit, an opportunity, and they've slowly come into this game.
Here comes Fulham. Good charge forward by Kenny Tete. Doucouré's got to be careful not to foul him on the edge of the box, and Tete puts it over the crossbar. Hopping mad, jumped up, slamming his feet down onto the deck afterwards after he put that shot over the crossbar high above Jordan Pickford. Idrissa Gueye, who got 4 Premier League goals last season. He's never scored more than that in a campaign in his club career. Today on his 200th Premier League appearance, he very nearly scored a fantastic goal. And then when Calvert-Lewin did respond well to the rebound, The joy was short-lived as the flag immediately raised, and that was proved to be the correct decision. So Everton 0, Fulham 0 it remains for now. Last time these sides met, it finished scoreless. That was at Craven Cottage in January, and there was also a 0-0 draw between them at Fulham the previous season as well. There's a long ball here towards Calvert-Lewin, jumps, times he's jumped well, wins the header but can't pick out a teammate. Andreas Pereira up towards Raul Jimenez, but Keane nips in for Everton, and it's long towards the edge of the Fulham penalty area. Diop said it's gone straight to Ndiaye. Pereira gets back, no foul. Idrissa Gana Gueye again. Here's McNeil out to the right hand side. Harrison hangs it to the back post. Up is Calvert-Lewin and cleared away by Sander Berge for a corner. Everton have warmed up in terms of an attacking presence. They look much more cohesive now.
You can feel it, Connor, you can feel it building a little bit. Just little opportunity. It's a great stand-off from Harrison just to pick out Calvert-Lewin in the back, and he just does beautifully, just to peel off the defender and really work his neck muscles to get the shot on target. And there's another opportunity for Everton.
10 minutes to go of normal time until the break. Corner kick to Everton. McNeil has gone across to take it. Tarkowski is up there. Michael Keane is up there. The corner is rolled short to Ndiaye, just on the edge of the penalty area. Back to McNeil, who's careful to remain onside. Sends it in low. Groans from the Everton crowd because Robinson was able to clear it away, but he didn't clear it far. Only as far as Ndiaye, who passes to the right-hand side to Idrissa Gana Gueye. And then Michael Keane tries to cross it in. And Adama Traore, working hard, blocks it out for another corner kick. So another opportunity here for Dwight McNeil to deliver from the corner.
Dwight McNeil will be disappointed with that cross, Connor. Honestly, he's in a lovely position, headed into the box, just standing up to the back post. All Everton's big defenders at the back post ready to challenge and attack the ball, but he'll be disappointed with that because he's usually brilliant in them situations.
This is Everton's third corner. He's not been able to pick out a teammate with either the first two deliveries. Let's see what happens here from Dwight McNeil, who's been involved in so many of the goals that Everton have scored this season, either scoring them or assisting them, and something's off today because that's another poor corner from McNeil. It hits the first defender and it's comfortably cleared away. This is Iwobi onto Andreas Pereira. Calvert-Lewin working hard to stunt Fulham's progress. Iwobi, what confidence that is. He's glided his way past three of them, and then he's furious with himself. He's given the ball away. Ndiaye for Everton takes on Kenny Tete. Good challenge from the Dutchman. Good sliding tackle. And now Adama Traore sprinting as Ndiaye tries to keep back up with him. Good work from Adama Traore. Raul Jimenez in the penalty area, tries to hit him with the outside of the right boot, but too many defenders in the way. Michael Keane, I think it was, made the block, and Everton only half clear. Here comes Fulham again. The game warming up. Kenny Tete's delivery from the right-hand side, headed away by Tarkowski. Fulham get it back again as Everton struggle to hold on to possession when they do win it the ball.
You're exactly right, guys. Just warming up. It's a brilliant counter-attack from Fulham. Adama Traore getting into his flow and driving at the back four, something we all know how good he is at doing. And it's a lovely little chop inside from Raul Jimenez, who has a shot on goal with the outside of his boot. But again, Michael Keane in the right place at the right time just to get the blocking.
Great to have former Everton player Conor Cody with us here at Goodison for this 5:30 kick-off in the Premier League. A reminder that coming up tomorrow we've got the big game at the Emirates, Arsenal against Liverpool from 4:30. One of 4 Premier League matches tomorrow that you can listen to on BBC Radio Sport as Iwobi plays a ball infield from the left wing towards Andreas Pereira. Sander Berge tries to pick the pocket of Idrissa Gana Gueye, and Tarkowski is struggling to clear here, but he keeps his cool and he eludes Jimenez, and he does work it to safety as Harrison's ball over the top looks for an offside. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 0-0 it remains.
Yeah, it's just on the edge, isn't it, the game at the minute. The crowd have come up a little bit. Goodison's got a little bit louder, which is what Everton want, and Everton want them on the front foot. And Everton have just stepped up the pitch a little bit. They're just trying to get a little bit more pressure on the ball.
If you're joining our coverage late here, Everton have had the ball in the back of the net, but Calvert-Lewin was offside. Idrissa Gana Gueye has hit the crossbar. Fulham's best opportunity, a shot from Emile Smith-Rowe that he put over the crossbar from close range and should have scored. Here is the former Arsenal man, heavy touch from him, shows too much of the ball to Dwight McNeil. Everton have it back inside their own half. Ashley Young short to Doucouré, number 16 on his back on the right wing, plays it infield to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Safety first approach for Everton. It's always a preference to take a non-risky ball backwards rather than a dicey one forward, but they do work it out to Ndiaye here, level with the edge of the penalty area left hand side, cuts it back at his right boot, swings it across. Diop well positioned, wins the header for Fulham. Ashley Young is following up for Everton, but his header ends up comfortably in the arms of the Fulham goalkeeper Bernd Leno.
Good play from Everton, going from one side to the other. Decore receiving the ball out on this right hand side and going back across the pitch to Garnagay. Lovely ball from Michael Keane out to Ndai, who steps inside, and he can do better with the cross. They're good positions for Everton, especially having Calvert-Lewin attacking the ball in the box.
Earlier on today, Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1. Villa look set to win that one until a 96th minute equaliser from Evan Nielsen. So a draw at Villa Park. Brentford against Ipswich was a crazy game. Ipswich went 2-0 up away from home. Brentford fight back for 2-2. Then Ipswich go down to 10 men, but the 10 men of Ipswich go 3-2 in front, and then Brentford come back, another 2 goals to win it 4-3. You can see the highlights of all of that tonight. Gary Lineker with Alan Shearer and Theo Walcott on Match of the Day. That is on BBC One from 10:20 this evening. For now on 5 Live, we've got 5 minutes of normal time to go until the break at Goodison. It is Everton 0, Fulham 0. On a calm evening here, there's not much wind swirling around. Bernd Leno plays it right-footed towards Robinson, jumping in the air with Ashley Young. Ball stays in play for Iwobi, but he's challenged by Harrison, and the last touch comes off Iwobi, the former Everton player, and that is a throw-in to the home side. So Ashley Young takes it into Jack Harrison. Stretching was Emil Smith Rowe. That's a good launch. Wins the ball back for Fulham inside Everton territory. Sander Berge. No press on him from any Everton player, but a dreadful pass. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there as he returns possession to Everton once again. Everton, who conceded 16 goals over their opening 6 Premier League games, but since then they've been very tight at the back, and today they're looking for a 3rd Premier League clean sheet in a row. Harrison into Idrissa Gana Gueye, now onto Decore. Can he get things moving through the midfield here? Runs his way through the centre circle, veering slightly to the left-hand side. Mikalenko in the orange boots is available. Hoists in a high ball. McNeil! Header straight at the goalkeeper. That was almost brilliant from Everton. Mikalenko's cross, the timing of the arrival from McNeil, but he's put it straight at the goalkeeper, and Bernd Leno makes the save.
Another brilliant bit of play from one side to the other for Everton, out to Mikalenko. And we mentioned before about Everton's crosses being on point, and that was the first one of the game that I think has been on the money. And you just wanted it the other way round. You wanted Dwight McNeil at the front and Calvert-Lewin running onto the ball, but it was a great opportunity for Dwight McNeil and a great run into the box.
Yeah, Dwight McNeil, who mentioned, has been involved in the goals. Everton have scored 9 times in the Premier League this season. He's been involved between scoring and assists in 6 of the 9. McNeil, and had he put it, a foot either side of the goalkeeper there from that range with the power in the header, it would have been very difficult for Leno to react, but the German was very pleased to see it coming straight at him. Here's Sander Berge controlling in the centre circle, has a look up to see who's making a run for him. Good ball to Andreas Pereira. He's got a Adama Traore available outside him on the right hand side. Here comes the cross into the middle, just nudged away from Raul Jimenez, and then Emil Smith Rowe can't control it. Pickford comes out and pushes it away for a corner to Fulham as we look for the opening goal of this 5:30 kickoff on 5 Live.
Adama's got gradually more into the game, Connor, hasn't he, as the game's gone on. He's put a few wicked balls in now, just dropping over Tarkowski's head there. It was actually a nice ball in, and Emil Smith Rowe just couldn't get it under control at the back post.
So Andreas Pereira places the ball to take the corner kick. Andreas Pereira, who played for Brazil at the Copa America over the summer. And the ball crowded inside the 6-yard box here. It's very congested on top of Jordan Pickford here. There's 10-11 players inside the penalty area. Here comes the delivery. Michael Keane, though, wins the header on the edge of that 6-yard box. And Idrissa Gueye as well to hold it up on the edge of the penalty area, but now Iwobi, can he deliver from the right hand side? It's a great ball in, just too high for Diop. Still alive for Fulham. Andreas Pereira hasn't. Ashley Young felt he was fouled there. He was slow to get back up to his feet, but the referee says play on. Andreas Pereira delivers it in, and Diop's header is over the top. Good cross from Andreas Pereira, but Diop couldn't keep it down.
I think that's an opportunity, that. It's a brilliant ball in, and Diop just gets in front of his man. If he can glance that on target, that is so tough for keepers. When your goalkeeper's in goal and you've got the defender, or the attacker shall I say, running across him to glance it into the far corner, it's so hard for a goalkeeper to react. It's a big opportunity, that, because Diop's really good as well at attacking the ball.
Yeah, Issa Diop, who's only ever scored 1 Premier League goal for Fulham. It came 2 seasons ago, a game against Bournemouth. But Andreas Pereira picked him out there, and that counts as one of the better chances of this game so far. Everton 0, Fulham 0. Will have reaction to some of the day's earlier kickoffs at half-time with Steve Crossman back in the studio. But here we await a break in the deadlock at Goodison as Tarkowski and Young pinned in tight in the right full-back corner as Everton defend, trying to clear the ball away. Bassey's header comes off Calvert-Lewin, and that'll be a throw into Fulham on the halfway line. Live Rugby League on BBC Two tomorrow. England take on Samoa, coverage from 2 o'clock, and there's live NFL tomorrow as well. Chicago Bears at Washington Commanders. You can listen on Sports Extra from 8 o'clock, and there's also the Mexican Grand Prix on 5 Live tomorrow. Coverage begins from 7:45. Bernd Leno, 3 clean sheets in his last 4 Premier League appearances against Everton. Plays it right-footed towards Raul Jimenez, who jumps well and wins the header. This is Iwobi, left wing for Fulham. Cuts it back towards Jimenez, who's going to leave it for Sander Berge here. Everton have got 10 men back behind the ball. Only Calvert-Lewin up to the halfway line. Everyone else is back in a defensive position for Sean Dyche. Adama Traore on the right-hand side for Fulham. It's gone quiet a bit at Goodison. There was a spell there, 10-12 minutes when it was lively. Game's just quieting down a little bit, atmosphere, the volume. Here's Adama Traore to the byline right-hand side. That's a good cross. Jimenez takes it on his chest, and Iwobi can't keep it down. That looked easier to keep down than to hoist there. It was down on his feet. He swung his left boot at it, and he ballooned it high over the crossbar. Another Fulham chance.
Oh, big opportunity. Big opportunity. And again, another great ball from Adama Traore, who dug it out on the far side just to get it into the box in any way, shape or form. And you was expecting Alex Iwobi just to talk to Raul Jimenez as Raul Jimenez is on the stretch. Alex Iwobi behind him, he can just nod it towards goal, but because Raul Jimenez is on the stretch, he just can't get it under control. But another big opportunity. If you can keep that down, it's a big chance for Fulham.
Alex Iwobi, who scored 9 goals during his time as an Everton player, could have taken the lead against his former employers there. We've moved into stoppages at the end of the first half. A solitary minute to be added on. There's not really been any delay. We haven't had any injury stoppage, anything like that, so not long to go until a half-time. And a game, I guess, kind of that both teams will feel they can go on and win this. There's not been a whole lot between them.
Oh, 100%. It's actually been a really good game. It's got better as the half's gone on, but 100% both teams will think they can go in it. I actually think Fulham has quietened Goodison Park down really well. I think they've controlled the game with the ball. I think they've moved it. I think they've slowed it down when they've needed to. And we've seen that little 10-12 minute bit in the middle of the half where Everton had a little goal, but Fulham have played really well, I think.
Yeah, 2 defences who are happy to sit deep here. Neither side has been able to really get in behind. We haven't seen anyone run for the halfway line with the ball and try to attack the penalty area. It's always been running at defenders in front of them. As Pickford here, left-footed, long, booming clearance. He's put too much on that, has he? Diop wins the header on the edge of the penalty area. Here's Doucouré following up. Sander Berge, that's a terrible touch, and it's a chance for Everton, but Calvert-Lewin was the meat in the sandwich between Kenny Tete and Diop, and he wasn't able to get a shot away. Everton could have taken the lead there with the final touch ahead of half-time, but Fulham breathe again, and it is 0-0 at the break. Conor Cody.
It is, yeah, and I was saying there, Conor, about I think Fulham have just edged the half. I think they've controlled the game really well. I think they've quietened the crowd down the way they'd want to. They've had a few better chances than Everton. Everton have had a couple when they've switched the play and they've got a couple of good balls in the box, and as we'd expect off set plays, but Fulham have moved it well and I think just shaded the better of the chances.
Everton haven't conceded a Premier League goal since September. Best chance for the visitors here has fallen to Emile Smith-Rowe. He put it over the crossbar. Everton, well, they had the shot from Idrissa Gueye that walloped up the crossbar, followed up into the net by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but he was offside. So at half-time at Goodison, it's Everton 0, Fulham 0.
Thank you very much, Connor, times 2. So we'll be back for second half commentary before 6:06 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. 08085 909 693. Quick reminder of the scores in the Premier League this afternoon. Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1, Brentford 4, Ipswich 3, Brighton 2, Wolves 2, and top of the table Manchester City 1, Southampton 0. Are Aberdeen going top in Scotland this afternoon? Kenny Crawford.
Well, they will at the moment, Steve. It stays 0-0. They only need a point to do that, but that telling, crucial final pass has been elusive here in the North East. It's Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0 at half-time. Lots of good football by Aberdeen, but the Dons just not finding the quality at the crucial moment. Croatian midfielder Ante Palaversa's shot just wide of the post, the closest it's been for the host. Dundee United have had a couple of wayward headers, Sam Dalby and Lucas Stevenson going closest for them. But at the break, Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
In the Premiership today, Gloucester 36, Newcastle 7, Bath 40, Sale 13, and Saracens Leicester. Chris Jones.
Well, as we were talking about earlier, Steve, Leicester haven't won here at the Stonex in over 6 years. Once in 11 attempts. They've got a great chance this evening against the Surrey side, missing some England big guns. Surrey's had led right at the half. Tim Swiel penalty. He only joined the club this week, but then the Leicester Moor went to work. Penalty try, yellow card. Surrey's go top of the win, but they trail at the break. Saracens 17, Leicester 22 half-time.
We will squeeze in as much Premier League reaction as we can and then speak to Chris Sutton ahead of 6:06 after the news with Jill Mackenzie.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says he's deeply alarmed by the escalation of violence in the Middle East after Israel carried out airstrikes on Iran overnight in response to Iranian attacks. Iran is playing down the impact. Business leaders have criticised the Chancellor's plan to get employers to pay more national insurance. Rachel Reeves is expected to raise the rate by 2 percentage points in Wednesday's budget and lower the threshold at which employers start paying. A government source says it'd help fund the NHS. The Metropolitan Police has warned the BBC that parts of a report about alleged misconduct by Tim Westwood may interfere with justice if published. The former Radio 1 DJ denies accusations of predatory and unwanted sexual behaviour. And the Labour MP Mike Amesbury says he will cooperate with Cheshire Police after reports of an assault overnight. Footage on social media appears to show him arguing with a man who's lying on a pavement in Frodsham. Mr Amesbury says he'd felt threatened after an evening out with friends and contacted police himself this morning.
On Wednesday, Chancellor Rachel Reeves will deliver the first budget of the new Labour government to the House of Commons.
I think it's really important that we get better value for money, for the taxpayers' money that is spent.
Join us for reaction, analysis and all the key headlines as the Chancellor outlines her fiscal plans.
We made commitments in our manifesto around income tax, national insurance and VAT on working people.
Throughout the day, we'll be picking through the details and Martin Lewis will join us to discuss what it could mean for you. The budget, next Wednesday
on BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Everton 0, Fulham 0 at Goodison. Second half commentary on the way. Some mad games in the Premier League already today. So Brentford beat Ipswich by 4-3. Brentford were 2-0 down. Then they were 3-2 up. Then Ipswich had a man sent off. Then Liam Delap equalised in the 86th minute. Only for Brian and Burmo to get all 3 points for the home sides 6 minutes into stoppage time. After the dust settled, Brentford's Keane Lewis Potter spoke to Lee Blakeman.
Keane, first and foremost, just describe what that was like when the winner went in.
Crazy, honestly, absolutely crazy. You can probably tell by my voice.
The key action that gave us the 2-1 goal.
Endorsement from the manager mid-interview.
No, it's always good. No, absolutely crazy. Like I was saying, you can tell by my voice. I'm starting to lose it a little bit from screaming. But yeah, they're just the emotions of football. You go from so low to back so high that quick. Yeah, it's incredible.
The manager has just come past, Thomas Frank, patted you on the back there and said how brilliant you've been for the team. How brilliant is he at leading the team and guiding you through those tricky moments, the ones that you especially experienced in the first half?
Yeah, he's absolutely massive. I think without a manager like him, we probably don't get back into the game. He's got that big of an influence on us all, and I think the togetherness in this squad is probably one of the best in the Premier League. Like I said, Thomas is an unbelievable manager, and I think it shows today what we did to him.
That's Brentford player Keane Lewis Potter. Here's the Ipswich manager, Kieran McKenna.
Of course, it's a mixture of emotions. Incredible pride, I have to say, in so much of the performance from an individual level. Some of the players stepping into the team, making their Premier League debut, maybe making their second Premier League game. Some outstanding individual performances, an outstanding mentality showed by the group in so many aspects. And so many good things that could have won us the game, or at least got us points from the game. And of course, those is mixed with, devastation in the dressing room that, we've conceded a 96th minute or whatever it was, ball into our box that, means that we don't get any points from the game. So, of course, it's a real mixture of emotions. We're really, really disappointed to not get something from it, but I think everyone can be proud of how we went about our business.
I mean, you mentioned pride there. When it comes to the belief that your players need to get out of this, does the result crush it, or does the performance build it?
No, I think the performance will build it today, to be honest. Of course, it's different in each scenario, but I think the players will come away today with more confidence than they arrived with. Look, with 10 men, it was unlikely we were going to get a result at that point in the game. To get back to 3-3 in the end, the moment cost us a point over the course of the season, but I think coming away from home scoring 3 goals, could have scored 4 or 5 at some other big moments. showing the resilience that we have in a really difficult week. We were forced to make a lot of changes and make some changes late to the side. A lot of players coming into the team again to show the resilience that we did, to show the quality of some of our execution. I think today is a day that the players will take more confidence from, because they know that if we show many of those things week in, week out, then we'll pick up points over time.
Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna. Brentford are the 5th team to win in the Premier League this season, having been 2-0 down. The Premier League record for an entire season is 6. Wolves were 2-0 down at Brighton with just 2 minutes of normal time to go, but then they scored late goals. Ryan Ait-Nouri and Mateus Cunha picked up the points, so Wolves moves off the bottom of the table. Here is Cunha with Match of the Day, Steve Wilson.
Matthias, many congratulations. That's an insane ending to a game which it looked like you'd lost when Brighton scored the second goal.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it was crazy, of course. But I feel like in the last games we have like a little bit luck out, and then this game come to us. Of course, we play well against City, and then in the end of the game they score. And we feel like, oh my God, only against us happiness, this kind of things. But today, the football show, when you keep going, when you work, the thing is coming. Of course, not 3 points, but I think it's a very important point to change your situation.
Bournemouth scored a really late goal as well, a stoppage time equaliser to earn a 1-1 draw at Aston Villa. Ross Barkley's goal cancelled out by Evan Nielsen in the 96th minute. Villa are 3rd in the Premier League. His manager Unai Emery with Gary Flintoff.
Well, Unai, you got yourself into the ideal position, so ultimately, how frustrated are you come the full-time whistle?
We played a fantastic game. We did the most difficult was to score 1 goal after we created chances. We dominated the first half. Only 10 minutes we didn't control. And we were dominating, we were creating chances, we were scoring 1 goal was not. And the second half, even we started better than the first half. We played 30 minutes fantastic, we created chances, we didn't concede them nothing, and we scored 1 goal. Okay. But in Premier League, you have to play 90 minutes being consistent in everything. And we conceded some fault, we conceded some corners. After thinking maybe they had the last 10 minutes 7 set pieces action, and they could score. Of course, we needed defense 100% focus, strong like we were doing, but they can score. Of course, I am frustrated, but they had to accept it, and I think we are in the right way, and we played a fantastic game today. Even drawing is football.
That's Unai Emery. Bournemouth manager Andoni Iraola didn't enjoy the entirety of the game. He actually hooked his right back Julian Araujo just 30 minutes into the match. Iraola has also been speaking to Gary.
So, Andoni, I know you had 1 or 2 problems coming into this game, so what does it say about your players that they've managed to come away from Villa Park with a point?
Yeah, I think it has been a difficult week for us in the injury aspect, and we missed some players today, but I think we didn't play well today, but we competed really well. I think the defense mark kept us in the game in the difficult moments, and after I think we finished really strong the game. Last minutes I think were clearly for us, and we received the reward at the end, yes.
Tell me about the change you made in the first half. When you make a change so early, do you think about the player at all, or is it literally the team comes first?
Yeah, it's the first time in my career, I think. I'm sure that I sub someone in the first half, but I have to accept the blame because I put Julian in probably as a right back in the most difficult game that we can find in the Premier League. You know how Villa attacked that left side. He received the yellow card, and I was thinking, okay, we are gonna be in really danger if I don't make the sub. I hope he takes it in a good way. He's a lovely guy and continues pushing because it's more my fault than his, yes.
Andoni Iraola. Manchester City are top of the Premier League this evening after beating Southampton 1-0. Southampton are bottom. Here's their manager, Russell Martin.
I think the courage he had on the ball and the way we played through them at times in the build-up was incredible, and we had some big moments ourselves, so I'm really proud on both fronts.
I mean, you're not going to come here and be open, are you? But you have moments.
Yeah, we had more than most, I think, when they come here, and the level of courage and intensity to run for each other and play football in our way, and to do what we are asking them to do was incredible. So I'm really proud of them for that, and I think we'll take a lot of belief from today, not just the way they defended, especially after going 1-0 down so early, the character that took, but the character to actually play in the way that we want to. And if we are going to lose, which we are going to, of course, at some point, at least do it in a way that we feel proud of the performance, and I can accept that.
Were you unhappy with the way you conceded, or is he just a monster goal-scoring machine?
The gap's too big. We worked on trying not to leave anyone 1v1 with him as much as we could in the box, but he's the best in the business for a reason, I guess.
Are you frustrated then that this run has gone on without a point on the board, or do you see enough today with the way your team was disciplined to be hopeful?
I see enough today with the discipline and the mentality. The lads really believe in the way they work and what they do, and we have to just maintain that. Objectively, we should have more points on the board, and we just have to keep working.
Southampton manager Russell Martin, 08085 909 693. Lines open for 606 with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Steve.
You've been making a lot of notes while I've been chatting away. What were you writing?
Yeah, just listening to Kieran McKenna and Russell Martin. A lot of spin there for teams at the bottom. I just wonder how both sets of fans feel, and we chuck Wolves in there as well. But Ipswich 2 up had a big chance to go 3 up, 3-2 down. Man sent off. Ipswich get back in it 3-3, and then Brentford scoring 4-3. Kieran McKenna said after the game, players came away with more confidence than they arrived with. How do you feel if you're an Ipswich Town fan? Do you believe that? And Russell Martin sort of claiming maybe a bit of a moral victory against Manchester City, who were pretty dull, but do you still have faith in Russell Martin, Southampton fans? And Wolves, I mean, what drama at the end there. Brighton had a 4-on-1 situation, 2-1 up. Fluffed a pass. All of a sudden, Wolves down the other end. Gary O'Neill has been under a fair bit of pressure, but is that a turning point? Off the bottom, want to hear from Wolves fans. And Sunderland, Steve.
5 points clear.
5 points clear. Who would have believed that? I wouldn't.
No Sunderland fans, I'll tell you that. They wouldn't have believed it at the start of the season, but there you are. Sunderland fans, 08085 909 693. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.
Chris up with Robbie Savage for 606. Once we're done at Goodison later tonight, Chorley's Jack Catterall takes on the American Regis Prograis in a super lightweight bout in Manchester. The winner expected to earn a shot at the world title. Steve Bunn's part of our commentary team at the Co-op Live Arena. Steve, how's it looking?
Well, Steve, it's just filling up this vast arena. I've not been in. It's my first appearance here. I've not seen any bands. I've not seen any comedians. I'm here watching the fans streaming. I like the look of it so far. The ring's in the middle of the arena, as you'd imagine. Looks like they're going to be a big house here. It's an important fight. You know that expression, a must-win? Well, this is a must-win. Must-win. Wait for it for both of them. Because Regis Prograis, forget the fact he's 35, former double world champion. He is, I believe, the favourite in this fight. Jack Catterall has been lean, has been hungry for, about 10 years, to be perfectly honest with you. He wins this, he gets a world title fight. Regis Prograis wins this, he gets a world title fight. It's hard for both of them. I can't really separate them. I just fancy Jack with the home fans. And just a little note, a bit of history. About 3 hours ago, a young woman called Emily Whitworth, she's from Haywood, it's not a million miles from here, 19 years of age, she became the first winner at the Co-op Arena. I'd love to be able to tell you who the first winner was back in 1999 at the MEN Arena. I can't do that, but I can tell you that Emily Whitworth holds that record here.
Thank you very much, Steve. So commentary with Steve Bunce, Ronald McIntosh, former lightweight world champion Anthony Crolla begins with action from the undercard on 5 Sports Extra at 8. Then it switches to 5 Live and BBC Sounds from 10 o'clock. We've got Formula 1 right now on 5 Sports Extra. Final practice for this weekend's Mexican Grand Prix underway. Commentary of qualifying from 5 to 10 tonight. 08085 909 693. Get your calls in for 606, which follows the second half in the Premier League of Everton versus Fulham. Connors.
Thanks, Rick. You can never have too many Connors, Steve, as you well know. Yes, the teams are back out. We are ready for Everton against Fulham. Second half, 0-0 for now. Everton looking to extend their current unbeaten run to 5 Premier League games without defeat. Only once in his time in charge here has Sean Dyche had a run of 5 Premier League wins without losing one of them. So can Everton go and get a winner in this second period? The last 12 Premier League matches that were level at half-time that Everton played in, only one of them did they go on to win in the second half. There were chances for both teams in the first period, but 0-0 it remains. We're back underway. Everton playing from right to left as we look down, defending the Park end. Bassey clears away for Fulham. Young sends it back for Everton to the edge of the Fulham penalty area, and then Issa Diop clears it out for a throw-in on the far side. So give you a reminder of the teams in just a moment, but Conor Cody alongside me, what way do you see this? What could change from what we've had in the first 45 minutes?
I think there'll be more of the same. I think Everton need to come out a little bit more, shooting towards the Gladys Street end. We all know what can happen when they're shooting towards that end, but Fulham played really well in the first half. They controlled the game with the ball. They quietened the crowd, like I mentioned a few times, and they played some good stuff and had some good chances. So I'm hoping for a couple of goals, to be honest with you, Conor.
We were unlucky not to get a few goals in the first half. Idrissa Gana Gueye hit the crossbar. Dominic Calvert-Lewin immediately after that had a goal disallowed for offside. Emile Smith-Rowe with the best of the Fulham chances, though Adama Traore did also have an opportunity, which was saved by Pickford. And had he got the shot away just a little fraction earlier, it would have been a better angle for Adama Traore. He brought himself quite wide, tight angle. Pickford was able to get his angles covered. Robinson prods the ball forward for Fulham, but Everton are going to regain possession and play it all the way back to Pickford. So this is how the teams line up as they were at kick-off. Pickford in goal for Everton. Young, Tarkowski, Keane and Mikalenko are the back four. Doucouré with Gay in the middle of the park as Calvert-Lewin jumps and wins a header, but he can't pick out McNeil, and Bernd Leno comes and gets there first. So Doucouré alongside Gay in the middle of the midfield for Everton. Jack Harrison on the right wing. Ilman Ndiaye up the left. Then we've got Dwight McNeil in the 10 role behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Fulham, who've got Bernd Leno in goal. The back four is Kenny Tete, Issa Diop, Calvin Bassey and Anthony Robinson. In midfield, Andreas Pereira with Sander Berge. Then a line of three with Traore on the right, Iwobi on the left and Smith-Rowe in the middle, and Raul Jimenez, the striker up top. Both teams playing with mirror image formations, really. Diop plays it forward. Pereira's made a good burst here, but it carries through to Pickford once again, and then he immediately lashes it back down the other end, and it's tennis here as it goes from one end to Goodison Park and back again. This is Calvin Bassey coming for the back for Fulham, launches it long looking for Traore. That was one of those expansive balls that Tarkowski tried in the first half, and Mikalenko got back goal side, and then the fraction of a touch from Traore, down he goes, the Ukrainian, and that is a free kick to Everton. And Jordan Pickford does have incredible range. He can kick the ball so far, can't he?
It's unbelievable, and he likes kicking it really far as well. You can tell that's the way he wants to play the game, and listen, his accuracy with it as well. He's actually a fantastic passer the ball as well, Conor. I played with him for England, and the way you can trust him to give you the ball in certain situations, he can break lines with his passes, but obviously this Everton team playing a certain way to get the ball in the opposition half and try and keep it there, but he's perfect for it.
You'll know, is he a good golfer?
He's a great golfer. Yeah, do you know what? I'm not a golfer myself, but he's a great golfer thing, but I don't know if he can smash it as far as he can kick it.
I was just going to say that the way that he smashes it, it does look like a golfer on the tee with the driver in their hand sometimes when he blazes the ball down the other end. Here is Ndiaye winning possession for Everton, but he gives it straight to Tete. And then back infield to Doucouré. Everton trying to get a bit of rhythm and flow going, but McNeil's attempted through ball was cut out by Sander Berge. It's just that little break that both teams want here. Maybe a mistake from the opposition that could open the door here. 0-0 it remains for the moment.
It's been a sloppy start, Conor, hasn't it? Just both teams just giving the ball away in little areas, little fouls being given away, going longer a little bit more, the ball being turned over. Just need a little bit of calm, someone to put the foot on the ball and just get control of the game a little bit.
Everton's chance to sit back and defend now as Fulham have possession. Calvin Bassey at a walking pace rolls it to Issa Diop on the right hand side. Fulham who host Brentford next. That's a Monday game next week. Then it's Crystal Palace away, followed by Wolves at home. Here is Raul Jimenez running into the penalty area, trying to control a ball that dropped from a height above him. It was a difficult technique, but had he trapped it, he was in. It spun away from him, and Pickford bravely came out knowing there'd be a collision but grabbed the ball.
It was a strange pass, wasn't it? It looked like it was going all the way through to Jordan Pickford and just held in the air, and I fancied Raul in that situation, to be completely honest. I've seen him take the ball out the sky like that before, and it was a big opportunity really for him.
The former Wolves teammate of Conor Cody, Raul Jimenez, now wearing the number 7 of Fulham, and he's been in the goals this season. 7 Premier League goals for Raul Jimenez. Will he get the big opportunity tonight? Smith-Rowe has the ball at the moment, halfway line, left hand side of the field as Fulham come forward. 0-0 at Goodison Park. Inky dark skies overhead now, floodlights illuminating the pitch. As Issa Diop here will come forward in the right channel. Marcus Silva waving his arm in the direction of Adama Traore, and that's where the ball is delivered. Mikalenko backing away from him. Ndiaye is back helping out the defence. Mikalenko times his stretch and prods the ball out for a corner to Fulham on the right hand side.
Brilliant defending, really good defending from Mikalenko. He understood where Adama Traore wanted to go. Adama Traore wanted to go on the outside of Mikalenko, and he just got his body in between Adama and the ball and just prodded it out for a corner.
So Andreas Pereira's going to take. He collects a fresh ball off the little cones that host the multi-ball system around the pitch here. Places it on the edge of the quadrant by the penalty area. Prepares to send corner flag, I should say. Prepares to send this into the penalty area from the right-hand side. Smith Rowe offers a short option, and they've messed it up between them. That's dreadful. It was played by Pereira to Smith Rowe. Really soft back pass to him, which then Idrissa Gueye says thank you very much, intercepts it, and Everton should be able to clear away here. Pereira's putting pressure on Idrissa Gueye, but boy, didn't the Senegalese player hold his nerve there. That is calmness personified. He didn't panic, he worked his way out and eventually able to get the free kick. Brilliant from Idrissa Gueye.
Really good play all round, really good play. Brilliant from Idrissa Gueye, where he just swivels his body and pulls away, but then by Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well, just to relieve all the pressure that the press was coming from Fulham.
Everton beginning a run here where none of their next 5 games are against teams in the top half of the table. It's an opportunity for Sean Dyche's team to maybe get up towards that top half themselves. And with home advantage here, they'll be keen to make it count, but 0-0 for the moment between Everton and Fulham. Everton's next 2 games both away from home at Southampton and then at West Ham. Into the second half at Aberdeen, Kenny Crawford.
Corner still 0-0 between Aberdeen and Dundee United, but the hosts are turning the screw. Former Wigan midfielder Jamie McGrath had a brilliant stinging shot from the edge of the box that was touched onto the post by on loan Luton goalkeeper Jack Walton. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
4 Premier League games tomorrow on 5 Live. You can listen to West Ham against Manchester United from 2. We've got Arsenal against Liverpool on 5 Live from 4:30. There's also the choice of Chelsea against Newcastle on Sports Extra at 2 o'clock, and Palace against Tottenham will be available to listen to on the BBC Sport website. And if you've got a smart speaker, you can listen to 5 Live with that. Just simply say play Radio 5 Live, and hey presto, you'll be listening to those commentaries in real time. This is Tarkowski rolling the ball to Ashley Young on the right hand side. There's a try at Saracens. Here's correspondent Chris Jones.
Yeah, it's gone to Leicester. They've scored first in the second half, Connor, making the most of the extra man. It's that old Tigers weapon, the ball. Julian Montoya, the scorer. Andre Pollard converted. Leicester are on the verge of a rare win here, and they've just gone in again. Ollie Hassel-Collins with his second. So assuming this one stands, it'll be Saracens 17, Leicester 34. What an opportunity this is for the Tigers.
Thanks very much, Chris. Opportunity there for Fulham, but Adama Traore just couldn't make his mind up, couldn't deliver. Good movement to get into the penalty area, but couldn't get the pass away.
Oh, that's just where you want him to get his head down, isn't it? Knock it and run past Mykolenko. There's no one faster than Adama Traore. And listen, Mykolenko's a fantastic defender. We've just seen it 5 minutes ago. But when Adama's in that situation, I've been in his team before, you're screaming at him to get the ball, knock it down the outside and run past your defender. And you just wonder sometimes, can he do it more? He's the fastest player I've ever seen.
Yeah. Can they utilise that asset? Can they exploit the pace of Adama Traore, Fulham, in a game that has been tight and cagey as Harrison gets a touch on the edge of the penalty area but can't get a shot away? Bernd Leno clears right-footed up towards the halfway line. Here's Adama Traore jumping with Michael Keane. He's done well. He's won the flick-on header into Raul Jimenez. Down he goes, fouled by Idrissa Gueye. Free kick to Wolves inside the centre circle. Fulham keen to get on with it and keen to take this free kick quickly. Fulham, who won this fixture here last season with a late goal in the second half. Bobby De Cordova-Reid, now a teammate of yours, Connor, at Leicester, scored the winning goal here at Goodison.
Oh, what a great lad. What a brilliant lad, Bobby De Cordova-Reid. A great asset to us. He's come in, he's a wonderful character. He's experienced now, he's played a lot of games and obviously had a great career in the Premier League with Fulham as well.
Diop here goes long and searching, looking for Anthony Robinson, who was up from left back. Ashley Young won the header on the edge of the penalty area, but he's given it straight to Iwobi. Back out to Robinson. Here comes the cross. Pereira, the flick on, well anticipated by Mykolenko, who was where he needed to be to clear away. Mind you, he doesn't find a teammate with that clearance, so Fulham still have it on the attack here. Sander Berge sweeping in a wider arc around Calvert-Lewin. Kenny Tete will roll it back into the centre circle. And here is Issa Diop once again. He's the one change across both teams from their previous Premier League starting 11s. Issa Diop in place of the suspended Joachim Andersen after his red card against Villa. Here is Kenny Tete, plays it right footed down the channel where Emile Smith-Rowe has gone in pursuit for Fulham, so this is crossing position on the right hand side, feeds it back to Traore, early ball in field, edge of the D, Andreas Pereira, right footed shot, but he's wrapped his foot around it too much. It's well wide of the target in the end, but Fulham creating chances since half time.
Yeah, good play going forward from Fulham. It's a brilliant run from Smith-Rowe into the channel, and he does ever so well to keep off Keane, to keep hold of the ball and play the ball back inside. It's a lovely touch from Pereira, and he just drags his shot wide, about 2 or 3 yards wide.
Let's go back to that Saracens-Leicester game, back to Chris Jones.
Well, it's all turning around here because that try was disallowed. So it's Saracens 17, Leicester 29, and now Saracens are pushing really hard, but it's going to be a scrum to the Tigers. The Tigers survive, and the point does remain. They've got a wonderful chance of winning here for the first time in 6 years. With half an hour to go, Saracens 17, Leicester 29.
Thanks very much, Chris. Earlier on in the Gallagher Premiership, Bath beat Sale by 40 points to 13. Gloucester were 36-7 winners against Newcastle Falcons. Earlier on today, New Zealand won in Japan by 64 points to 19. This is 5 Live from the BBC. We're live on BBC Sounds this evening as well. This 5:30 kickoff of the Premier League. No goals at Goodison, where Everton are trying to continue this good run that they've been on lately. Fulham are looking to improve in a run of 2 Premier League defeats in a row coming into this game. Mikalenko tries to cross on the left, but it blocks away off the lip, I think, of Traore by his reaction, bringing his hand up to his mouth, and it goes out for a throw into Everton on the left-hand side, which Mikalenko with the bright, luminous orange boots is preparing to take. Throws it to Ndai, controls with his back to the penalty area. Kenny Tete hanging out of him, but Ndai, who's not built really large, he doesn't look muscly, but he's impossible to shift off a ball, and he scampers away from 3 opponents there and gets a warm applause from the Goodison crowd. He'd be a nightmare to mark. Ndai.
He's a brilliant player, really, really good player. He's been fantastic since he come to Everton, and I think everybody expected him to play up front or as a number 10. He's actually playing out wide with Dwight McNeil as a number 10, but it's working because Dwight likes to be in them position. But it was great play from Ndai to get out of that situation.
Chance for counter-attack here for Fulham as Kenny Tete comes over the halfway line on the right hand side, gives it to Adama Traore. Mikalenko shouting at Ndai to get back and help him out in that position. Andreas Pereira more centrally has to skip away from Idrissa Gana. Good work though from Everton's defensive midfielder. He's so good at doing that. Effortlessly wins back the ball for his team, and Mikalenko completes the clearance. Calvert-Lewin got up too quickly. He was on his way down when the ball came to it. Tarkovsky going to jump on the edge of the penalty area, and then a calming touch by Ashley Young sends it back to Jordan Pickford once again. 57 minutes on the clock now, still awaiting the opening goal here at Goodison Park.
Brilliant play from Gana, isn't he? The amount of times he's done that when he's playing in front of you, when I was at Everton for that season, and he just come across and he helps you out so much because he does things like that. You gain the ball back and you can put pressure back on the opponent.
My favourite stat with Idrissa Gana is that since he made his Premier League debut 2015, he's at the second highest number of interceptions, and you'd almost wonder, you nearly think he'd have the top, and that he would be. It's because he spent 3 years at Paris Saint-Germain, and that's it. He's still the second highest, even with 3 years away.
It's unbelievable, and it shows how good he is. It shows how good he's been for Everton, and it shows how good of a player he is as well, that he spent 3 seasons at PSG, by the way, playing with Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi and players like this. He's a fantastic player, and he's done brilliant for Everton over the years.
He has. Turned 35 in September, Idrissa Gana, but no let up with his sharpness. He's been very good today. Here's a free kick for Everton, taken by McNeil. High, too high, lofted into the arms of the goalkeeper. No Everton player challenging, and you can hear a few grumbles in the background from the Everton crowd as another chance goes to waste there. This is Alex Iwobi, a former Everton man, wheeling away from McNeil, who didn't make a great effort to try and get back. It's not a good pass though, and Everton do win it with Ashley Young, but he can't keep it as Bassi regains possession for Fulham, and both teams are giving up possession cheaply at the moment.
It's been the same at the start of the second half, hasn't it? We mentioned it about 5 minutes ago about just the turnover balls from each team. Going back to the set piece there from Everton, it's disappointing from Dwight McNeil. His delivery is usually on point every time. We've seen a couple with the corners today, and they're big opportunities for Everton.
Remember, you can take our live commentaries with you on the BBC Sounds app. As Ndai is allowed to turn here in the edge of the penalty area. Mikalenko is with him. Low ball too close to the keeper again. Well, that has been a bit contagious for Everton tonight. They get into good promising positions, but that final pass lets them down. Mikalenko, with options aplenty, gave it straight to the keeper.
he done so well to get there as well, didn't he? He overlapped and died, and it was a brilliant overlap and a lovely timing of the pass, and he's in a great position, really good position, and most of the time you just want that fizzed across the keeper, and it was just a little bit too close for Leno just to sit on the ball.
Earlier on today, 1-1 between Aston Villa and Bournemouth, a late Bournemouth equaliser there, 96th minute. Crazy 7-goal game at Brentford, which they won right at the end, having come from 3-2 down. Brentford win 4-3 in the end. Brighton 2, Wolves 2. Ait Nouri and Cunha responding late on for Wolves. That's an important point for them, having narrowly been beaten by Manchester City last time. As here Smith Rowe has done well to release himself on the edge of the penalty area. Iwobi drives into the box and he scores back on Merseyside. The former Everton player Alex Iwobi, muted celebrations as he doesn't go over the top against the fans who used to cheer him on. But Alex Iwobi has put Fulham in front here. It's his second Premier League goal of the season. Emil Smith Rowe set it up, but that was a really good finish. It's Everton 0, Fulham 1.
Connor, that little bit of quality we've been looking for. Firstly from Emil Smith Rowe, it's an outstanding run. The balance he shows, the control he shows to come past a few players, and it just falls for Alex Iwobi, and he just steps into the space. I was actually pointing out to play to Adama Traore, who was in acres of space on the right hand side of the pitch, but his composure to step inside the box and play it into that near post. It's an outstanding finish from a really good play. He's been fantastic for Fulham.
It's come just after the hour mark, 61 minutes. Alex Iwobi, 9 goals for Everton during his time here, 140 appearances as an Everton player, but he has come back to haunt his old club here, and is Sean Dyche's run of 4 games unbeaten, is that now in high jeopardy? There's plenty of time. There's a half an hour plus to play here, but Everton are going to have to come from behind.
Just watching the replay there, Conor, the play from Emil Smith Rowe is outstanding. He's running, he's balancing his control to keep hold of the ball.
Hang on, here's Harrison down the other end. Shoots on the fly, but shoots over the top. It bounced in front of him. Difficult technique, he took it on early. Could he have done with a touch there? Everton with a chance to respond immediately, and it's blazed over the top.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I can understand why he's not took a touch. It's looking nice, it's on the half volley there. Listen, there's no one in the box. If he takes a touch, Calvin Bassey gets in the way of the shot, and he probably can't have the shot. He's probably got to turn and keep hold of it. So I understand the shot. It's a tough one, it's a tough angle, and a really tough approach to it.
Well, last weekend when Ipswich were beaten by Everton, Everton moved 5 points clear of the relegation zone. Results earlier on today haven't changed that matter, but here on home soil Everton have conceded, and it's just interesting to see the reaction. Goodison's gone a bit quiet. Can the Everton team get that volume raised up again with their play here? Fulham, who this will suit the Marco Silva game plan now. They've got their noses in front. If they can keep the ball, as Raul Jimenez doesn't do there, gives the pass away, but they can frustrate Everton here by just denying the home team possession.
They can, and they have done for the majority of the game, to be honest with you. We've seen that 12-minute play in the first half where Everton got on the front foot a little bit, had a few set pieces, had a few corners, a few crosses, but other than that, Fulham have controlled the game really well. They've quietened the Goodison crowd. Like I mentioned before, the Goodison crowd wants to see Everton on the front foot and being pressing and getting after Fulham, but it's been tough because Fulham have controlled it really well.
It's the collateral effect of the goal to go behind, the crowd just displaying a bit of more disgruntlement, a bit of disappointment when things don't go their way now. As Tarkowski slides in for Everton, wins the ball ahead of a Smith Rowe, but Fulham get it back again, and Diop rolls it to Bernd Leno, and Leno standing with the ball at his feet on the penalty spot, waits for an Evertonian to come in and try and crowd him. This will smoke Everton out a bit now. They've got to go and attack Fulham. Could that open opportunities for Marco Silva's team? Here's Doucouré, into the penalty area for Everton, shuffles it on to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, back to Ndiaye on the left hand side, skips away from Pereira. Now he's up against Kenny Tete. Pereira comes in for another nibble too, but he's so hard to get off the ball. Ndiaye, he's still hustling there, real street fighter, and eventually the assistance flag is raised, I think to say the ball had gone out of play again before coming back in. Sean Dyche would have had the exact same view as the assistant, doesn't agree with that. It's Simon Bennett who's the official on the near touchline, and he's getting a throaty husky earful from Sean Dyche down there about that decision, but it is a throw into Fulham.
I tell you what, I bet Simon Bennett was dreading this game, knowing he was going to be on that line in front of Sean Dyche, knowing that every decision he'd have been in his ear with.
The whole idea of the fourth official was brought in to keep the managers away from the linesman, the referee. Here's Iwobi coming forward. Anthony Robinson, low ball in. Pickford got down well. Pereira, no angle for the shot. Back to Robinson again, still inside the penalty area. Poor delivery though, straight to Idrissa Ganagay, and Everton should be able to get that away. I was just going to say at the point about the fourth official coming in, the technical errors here are tiny. So even when the managers are comfortably inside where they're supposed to be, they are right on top of the assistant referees. But that was a chance there for Fulham, and if they could get a second goal, then you really would be worried for Everton here. Let's go back to Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Dundee United. Kenny Crawford.
64 minutes gone. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0, but the hosts are really pushing for all 3 points. They want that clear gap at the top of the league overnight. Their corner count is up to 7 as Aberdeen pepper the United goal, but they just need to watch United on the counter-attack. Kevin Holt just had a looping header wide, the Dundee United defender. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Everton 0, Fulham 1 here. The goal from Alex Iwobi against his old team. It's another goal on his travels for Iwobi, who scored at Molineux in March. He scored at Old Trafford in February, and here he has scored at Goodison Park in the closing days of October. Fulham having lost their last 2 Premier League games in a row, hoping that this is a moving day, a day that the tide turns for them. Here's Smith Rowe down the left-hand side. Support from Iwobi. Everton need to get numbers back here. Raul Jimenez on the edge of the penalty area. Tries to turn. Idrissa Ganagay, who's probably been the best Everton player today, intercepts. Tries to come away with possession. Fouled by Pereira. Free kick. And Fulham will protest it, but it's a free kick to Everton.
I didn't think that was a foul, to be honest with you, Connor. I like good tackles in football. I didn't think that was a foul. I thought it was a really good tackle, and obviously the referee's a lot closer than me. But listen, he come across really well for him. It was a great reaction to the ball, to the loss of the ball, and he comes across and oh no, I think it's a good tackle for me. That I like good tackles, Connor, to be honest with you.
The provider of many good tackles over the years, Connor Cody alongside us here, knows a good tackle when he sees one.
I like a good tackle more than a goal. The problem there, isn't it?
Everton 0, Fulham 1 here. Back to the Stonex Stadium and Chris Jones.
Nearing the hour mark, and Leicester are near it. A rare win here at Saracens. Andre Pollard, the double World Cup winning Springbok, has nailed a penalty to take them 3 scores clear. Saracens 17, Leicester 32.
Everton trailing at home at Goodison. That goal they conceded to Alex Iwobi, the first goal that Everton have let in over 5 hours of Premier League football. First Premier League goal they've conceded since September. Both teams are making changes here. Reece Nelson is going to come on for Fulham. He will replace Adama Traore, who's been busy throughout, just not quite able to produce the killer moments. And a change of a similar nature for the home team. They're taking off their right winger. Jack Harrison is replaced by Jesper Lindstrom, who's making his first appearances before the international break. He's missed the last couple of games with an illness, but Jesper Lindstrom on loan from Napoli onto the field for Everton as Iwobi wins the ball back for Fulham. And then Raul Jimenez plays it off Michael Keane. That'll be a Fulham throw close to the halfway line. The clock ticks on. We are now midway through the second half, and by the time the stoppages are added on, there'll be roughly 25 minutes to go from here.
Just looking at the change Fulham have made there, Alex Iwobi's now come over to the right with Reece Nelson going over to left, and just since his goal it's given that little bit of a boost, hasn't he? He seems to be everywhere at the minute. Alex Iwobi is making tackles, he's breaking up play, and he's driving with the ball as well. But it'll be interesting now to see how he copes against Mykolenko and see if he does drive inside the way he has been doing from the left.
Fulham have conceded 6 goals across their last 2 Premier League games, but they have denied Everton opportunities today, and now they've an opportunity to attack themselves. Reece Nelson, fresh legs, having just been sprung from the bench. He runs into the penalty area, floats in across. Iwobi from the tight angle, cuts it back brilliantly, but Smith Rowe couldn't get the final touch. What a ball back in from Alex Iwobi. That is so difficult to execute, but nobody on the end of it, and Everton very fortunate not to be 2-0 down.
I actually think Decore gets a touch at the back post. It's a tap-in for Smith Rowe. Just looking at the replay there, as the ball comes over the top, it's a brilliant cross in and a brilliant ball back across by Iwobi. You expect him just to tap it in, but I just don't know if Decore just gets a little nick on the ball.
If he does, it's a brilliant defensive intervention from Abdoulaye Decore. Everton need a goal here. Everton 0, Fulham 1. Robinson, the left back for Fulham, plays it up to Reece Nelson. On as a sub now in the 6th Premier League game in a row for him. Fulham work it back to Bassi on the edge of the penalty area, all the way back to Bernd Leno. Goodison's gone quiet once more. Here is Diop.
Sander Berg's been good, Connor. Sander Berg's been very good. Very, very good. He's sat in the middle of that pitch. He's controlled the game. He's moved the ball. He's played it simple. He's had a very, very good game today.
Fulham have it inside Everton territory, and Dye works hard to get it back for the home team. Here's Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Goal disallowed for offside in the first half. Mikalenko swerves away from Andreas Pereira, accelerates away from the Brazilian. Here is Dwight McNeil, who's had a quiet game by his recent standards, and he can't pick out Lindstrom here. Tried to run it into his path on the edge of the penalty area. Diop has done really well, and Fulham are able to clear away. Lovely touch from Reece Nelson, hurdles over a challenge, then he goes by Decore. Can he get his head up and see that Iwobi was in space? He can, and he's eventually fouled by Idrissa Gana Gueye, who I think was aware of the danger there and ensured that Reece Nelson would not progress any further. No counter-attack for Fulham, free kick for them on the halfway line. This plays into the arms of Fulham. Surely Raul Jimenez is offside here, and he is, as the flag belatedly rises. But Everton have got to push forward, and this is suiting Fulham, who are increasingly getting in behind the Everton defence more often now.
Yeah, and also what it's doing is Fulham are really comfortable on the ball. Fulham wants Everton to come out at them. We've seen Bassi and Diop just stand on the ball and wait for them to come, and because Everton have now got to come because they're chasing the goal, they're now space in behind the midfield, because Gana Gueye is jumping, Decore is jumping. They've now brought on Reece Nelson, who can run in behind, so it actually suits Fulham in terms of they're really comfortable on the ball to play through the press as well.
Keane, pass that doesn't have the pace on it to reach Makalenko. Makalenko goes down claiming he was struck by an arm to the face. Kenny Tete was the opponent nearest to him. Both players now down on the deck, and referee John Brooks, who was just a little bit away from that, is walking over. I don't think he had a clear view of what happened anyway, but the way Mikalenko went down, it was like that he was the way he's sort of now putting his eye into his shoulder, it's like that he's been struck by a stray arm here. Let's see, yeah, fingertips more than a sort of a slap or a punch or anything. I don't think there's anything intentional from Kenny Tete there, but maybe a finger in the eye or something like that has caused discomfort for Vitaly Mikalenko. Play will resume with no free kick. It's just a throw into Fulham, who lead 1-0 here thanks to Alex Iwobi's goal. Fulham set for another victory at Goodison. Tete's taking his time, and it's really frustrating the Evertonians looking on. Right, ball back in play. Tarkowski, Pickford, and here he goes launching another of his driving range punts from the edge of his own penalty area towards Ndiaye, who's offside, and that's a bit careless. You've got to stay onside in that sort of position. Free kick to Fulham. They'll take their time over that, and while they do, we'll go back to Aberdeen and Kenny Crawford.
71 minutes gone, Connor. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0. But I'll tell you what, on loan Luton Town goalkeeper Jack Walton is keeping Dundee United in this. Another marvellous save. This time the header came in from Esther Sockler, who scored against Celtic last week, and Walton clawed it away when the Richard Donald stand behind were already half celebrating. Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
If Dundee United would move to third if they win, Aberdeen could go 3 points clear of the top. That is going to be nervy and tense right the way through its conclusion. We'll be back to Kenny for any developments in that one at Pittodrie here at Goodison. Still a tight game, Fulham in front, but this is not necessarily all done and dusted just yet. Can Everton find a second win? Not with a pass like that from Ndiaye. He's put Keane under pressure here. Last touch goes off Raul Jimenez. It'll be a throw into Everton just inside their own half. Connor Cody.
It certainly can change, Connor. I think the drop of a hat at this place, I think when you get an attack, the Goodison crowd gets up. I know that first hand from being here when I played here, that a tackle or a shot or a pass forward or a chance on goal can really turn the crowd and get them back on side, and I think that's what Everton need, because they're certainly not out of this game.
No, Sanderberger gives it short to Emile Smith-Rowe. Big money signing from Arsenal in the summer for Fulham. He's involved again. Little 1-2 with Robinson, little 1-2 with Reece Nelson. So much goes through Emile Smith-Rowe, and then to hold on to possession, the visitors turn and go all the way back to the goalkeeper Bernd Leno, away to our left hand side. The clock ticks on. Just over a quarter of an hour to play of normal time. This is Bernd Leno, D of his penalty area. Fulham playing left to right as we look down in white. Everton in their traditional blue. Andreas Pereira gets his head up. He's played it over the top for Reece Nelson. Now is he onside? Bounces away from him anyway, and into the arms of Jordan Pickford. I think that would have been onside, had it fallen for Reece Nelson. I think Mikalenko was playing him on. Here is Ashley Young on the far side for Everton. Plays it long, but towards a ghost. There's no one there. groans from the crowd you can hear in the background as Bernd Leno comes out of his penalty area and clears away. Reece Nelson's looked really bright since coming on. He skipped away from another challenge. This is Reece Nelson for Fulham into the penalty area left hand side, 4 teammates up with him, goes around Idrissa Gana Gueye, who tackles him in the penalty area, and it's a good tackle, no margin for error there in the box. Pickford picks up the loose ball. Everton breathe again.
Gana Gueye coming round making a brilliant tackle. It looked like he just won the ball. It was great play from Reece Nelson, by the way, really good from Fulham. The way he just dipped under the ball and let it go over Ashley Young's head is really good, but again, Gana Gueye coming round.
Yes, Reece Nelson's given that little breath of fresh air that Everton badly need, but it's Fulham who are the recipients of it. Sean Dyche must be wondering what he can do to just get his team back on the front foot here. He's brought on Lindstrom, he's not really been involved. Everton 0, Fulham 1. Kenny Tete in possession, 10 yards inside his own half. No pressure as he turns and rolls it back to Issa Diop. And turn all the way back to Bernd Leno, away to our left-hand side. Leno, who's only had 1 clean sheet so far this season for Fulham. He'd love another one here. Did Michael Keane handle that as he controlled it? Referee is happy with it. Here's Idrissa Gana Gueye, Everton's best player today. Up to McNeil, can't get in around the back of Diop. Idrissa Gana Gueye's chopped it down by Emile Smith-Rowe. That looked like a foul to me. The referee was right beside it and he said that was a clean tackle. Everton aren't happy with it. There's going to be a yellow card shown here, and Tarkowski, who I think as much as anything there is upset that it wasn't given as a foul by Smith-Rowe a moment before, tried to take out his own retribution, but he's the one who loses out in the long term because it's a yellow card for Everton's Tarkowski.
I tell you what, the referee was in a great position as well from the Smith-Rowe challenge, and I thought myself from being up here, he just rolls on top of the ball, Smith-Rowe, but I just think he just went over the top of it a little bit. I did think it was a foul, and how many times do you see that in football, Connor, when you don't get the foul and then 2 minutes later you end up giving the foul away yourself. It happens so common in football, but yeah, I did think that was a foul myself from Smith-Rowe.
Yeah, frustration spilling over a little bit there for Everton. They've got to keep calm heads. Another try at Saracens. Chris Jones.
Saracens not done yet. Tom Willis unlucky to not make the England squad. Powerful break from the number 8. Juan Martin Gonzalez finished it off. Swill couldn't convert. Saracens 22, Leicester 32, 12 minutes to go.
Thanks very much, Chris. We've got about 13 minutes to play of normal time here at Goodison. And the natives are restless. Everton unbeaten 4 before today. Is the run about to come to an end? McNeil, Mikolenko on the left-hand side. It's a crossing position, but his 2 defenders around him. Lovely movement. Gets to the byline, pulls it back, but Sander Berge standing, patrolling in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, is able to clear it away. That was a strong, combative challenge by Idrissa Gana Gueye. The referee said it was a fair one. Wobie's taking it off him. Alex Iwobi runs into Michael Keane. Raul Jimenez tries to keep the move going, and he's done really well. He's been hurt, but play on. Here's Smith-Rowe in the penalty area. Robinson was outside him. Smith-Rowe goes for goal himself. Was it a handball by Michael Keane? And the follow-up shot by Jimenez is off target. Fulham looking for a second goal that could put this game to bed. Andreas Pereira is still down near the halfway line.
I tell you what, Con, everyone looks knackered, don't they? Everyone looks absolutely on the feet. It's good play from Fulham. They counter-attack again, and we mentioned before about it being kind of in their hands a little bit. Everton attacking and being spacing behind. They counter-attack really well, and it's good play from Smith-Rowe. And I think he's unlucky not to get the ball on target. It's a good block from Michael Keane, obviously with his face, and it peters out in the end. But again, we go back to it just being in Fulham's hands a little bit when Everton are trying to put pressure on.
Fulham are about to make a double change here. Number 18 here, Andreas Pereira, replaced by Harry Wilson. So Andreas Pereira, who was down there just a moment ago, will not be continuing. I don't think it's to do with any injury. They made that decision before he was involved in the challenge. And Harrison Reed is going to come on in place of Emile Smith-Rowe. So that's a slightly more defensively minded player in place of the playmaker, as Marco Silva perhaps deciding this one goal could be enough today, and it's more important to defend the lead than try and add to it now. But 2 players who'll offer him slightly different things. Harry Wilson and Harrison Reed both coming on for Fulham here. For Wilson, it's his 100th Premier League appearance.
I'll tell you what, it's a great player to bring on, Harrison Reed, in this situation, being 1-0 up, just to shore up the midfield a little bit. But what a player Smith-Rowe is. I've enjoyed watching him today. The way he moves the ball, the way he can shift his body, the balance, the way he set up Alex Iwobi for his goal, I think was sensational. But I think he's had a really good game today.
Yeah, there's something unorthodox, something throwback about Emile Smith-Rowe. He could have played in an era 20-30 years ago, something about the swagger that he has. But let's see what Harry Wilson can do in that position now, as Everton are preparing a double change. I can see Oriol Mangala down there and Beto as well. getting ready to come on for Sean Dyche, who needs something special now. Just over 10 minutes to go. Ndye's in possession for Everton here. Left hand side, rolls it to the edge of the penalty area. Dwight McNeil. Everton trailing by a goal to nil. That goal scored by former Evertonian Alex Iwobi. McNeil hangs it across on the left hand side. Calvert-Lewin gets up. Couldn't get it anywhere goal bound, however. Idrissa Gana comes forward to help as well. Robinson has done well to clear it away. Plays a little 1-2 with Iwobi. Fulham survive again as Idrissa Gana slides in, and Fulham fans thought he was a bit late there. Free kick has been awarded to Fulham. That break in play will allow Sean Dyche to make this change. So Mangala will come on in place of Doucouré into the midfield. It'll be a 6th Premier League appearance for Everton for the Nottingham Forest player. And it'll be Calvert-Lewin who makes way for Beto. That's a like for like. Dominic Calvert-Lewin off. Beto is on. Beto, who scored a late equaliser against Fulham in the League Cup last season.
Tough for Dominic Calvert-Lewin today, really tough, Conor. I think the two centre-backs from Fulham have been fantastic. I think they've controlled him really well. We mentioned kind of what he's really good at, and that's coming off, but they've handled him really well, the two centre-backs for Fulham. They've controlled the game, they've moved it, they've actually done the 3v2, including Sander Berge against the two strikers for Everton, really well and control the game.
Beto, who was on as a sub in 4 of the first 5 Premier League games, but this is his first appearance in over a month now, as Harrison Reed tries to cross from the right hand side for Fulham. Mikalenko's able to clear the ball away. Everton still back on the edge of their own penalty area. We're into the 81st minute now. Bassi does well against Beto, and again strong from Calvin Bassi. Ashley Young slides in for Everton, but they can't hold on to the ball, and here come Fulham again. Reece Nelson to Iwobi. Looks like those substitutions have been well timed just to bring some new energy into the midfields, the respective teams. Sander Berge in the centre circle here. Fulham hoping that this is going to be a first Premier League win after a run of 2 defeats back to back. Bassi on the halfway line, no urgency for. He literally stands with his hands at his hips and says, right, come on, come and get it off me. This is Iwobi up to Raul Jimenez. Mangala's got to be careful on the edge of the box. Doesn't quite fall for Reece Nelson, and Mangala's able to come away with possession for Everton, but they're going to give it away, are they? No, just about held on to it there inside their own half. This is McNeil to Ndye. Lindstrom had made a run ahead of him, but Ndye isn't able to pick out the pass. This is Mangala for Everton inside Fulham territory. Everton 0, Fulham 1. The goal after 61 minutes for Alex Iwobi. Mangala involved in the move for a third time. Here's Lindstrom, left-footed shot, seemed to take a deflection, but if anything it took the zip and the pace out of the shot, and Bernd Leno was able to get down to his right-hand side and make the save.
Yeah, it's better from Everton, getting to the edge of the box with Lindstrom and getting a shot on target. I don't think there's been many of them second half because of how Fulham have played. But again, I go back to Alex Iwobi, and it shows the versatility of him. He's now playing as a number 10. He's been on the left, he's been on the right, he's now as number 10 because Harrison Reed's come on and Pereira's gone off. And that just shows the sort of player he is, the calibre of player he is. He's been great here today, we mentioned his goal, but that is so big to a manager and to a team that you've got a player who can play in all these different positions.
Yeah, Alex Iwobi, former Everton player, scoring against Everton today. His first ever Premier League goal came against Everton. That was back when he was an Arsenal player many years ago. We've got a delay in play here. One of the Everton players, McNeil, is getting some treatment inside the Fulham penalty area. Both coaches are taking advantage of this break to try and summons a little bit of a impromptu team talk, particularly Marco Silva, who's discussing things with Sander Berge. And while we've got a break in play here, Everton 0, Fulham 1, we go back to Aberdeen and Kenny Crawford.
82 minutes gone, Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0. The rain is pouring down here at Pittodrie, meaning defenders need to be ever so much more alert when those balls come zipping into the box. Aberdeen still throwing everything at it. They've just brought on Nigerian striker Peter Ambrose and Dutch winger Vicente Bizawan to try and unlock that stubborn Dundee United defence. And as I said before, Dundee United still looking a bit tricky on the break when they get that odd foray forward. But with 8 minutes of normal time to go, Aberdeen 0, Dundee United 0.
Had a try at Saracens. Here's Chris Jones.
Well, that 15-point Leicester lead has been cut to 3 points. James Hadfield burrowing over from short range. Conversion by Tim Swill. Sarries have the momentum. Saracens 29, Leicester 32, but Leicester now have a penalty corner. metres, but it's Andre Pollard, the double World Cup winning South African, who may well take this one on. 7 minutes to go, Saracens 29, Leicester 32, but Leicester with a penalty and a chance for 3.
Thanks very much, Chris. There's live boxing on 5 Live tonight from Manchester. Chorley's Jack Carroll is in action. It's the vacant WBO World Super Lightweight title. You can join Steve Punce of the team later on here on 5 Live for that. There'll be League Cup 4th round action this coming week on 5 Live. On Tuesday we bring you Sheffield Wednesday against Brentford. On Wednesday it's Chelsea against Newcastle. Those commentaries on 5 Live. We've got Tottenham against Manchester City on Wednesday available to listen to on Sports Extra. We're not missing any live action here. Calvert-Lewin has slowly walked to the sideline, and the Everton medical staff still assessing as to whether he's going to be okay to continue for the closing stages here. And it is the closing stages, Conor Cody. 5 minutes to go and Everton a goal down.
It is. I'm just looking at McNeil there, Conor, and he looks really uncomfortable, and that's a big loss for Everton, that the way he's been playing, the way he's been scoring, the way he's been assisting, the way he's now been playing as a 10.
Goal in Aberdeen, Kenny.
83 minutes gone and Aberdeen have got the breakthrough they wanted, and it's one of the men I just mentioned a minute ago. He's only been on the park 2 minutes. Peter Ambrose, Nigerian forward, only his second goal of the season. It was a high hanging ball into the box. That wet weather meant the Dundee United defenders couldn't clear it, and Ambrose was there to put it in the net from 6 yards out in front of a packed Richard Donald stand. Aberdeen 1, Dundee United 0.
Wow, well, thanks for that, Kenny. Late goal. Can there be some late drama here at Goodison as Jared Branthwaite makes a welcome return onto the field? Very warm applause for him. Branthwaite, who's had injury problems since picking up a knock in the summer. He started against Crystal Palace in September, but that's been the only Premier League game he's played in before today. So he's come on along with Tarkowski in place of Michael Keane. Michael Keane's got up to join the attack. Mind you, the way he's been striking shots lately, that's no big surprise. It's Dwight McNeil, who was struggling after that injury, is the player who's gone off. So Branthwaite into defence, and Michael Keane will go up and play an attack along with Beto. And this is the Sean Dyche equivalent of throw the kitchen sink.
No, do you know what, Conor? I'll be honest, he's a fantastic finisher of the ball, and you see it in training every day. And it was funny then, as I seen Jared Branthwaite come on, I thought to myself that he might do that. And when I was there for that year, he spoke about it a lot, Sean Dyche, because obviously he had him at Burnley. He knows he's a great finisher. We've seen that last week with his goal at Ipswich. And it might sound silly, and people might think sometimes that we're talking about a defender being a great finisher. They can be, some defenders can score, and he's certainly one of them. So that doesn't surprise me, the fact that he's put him up front, and the fact that we're seeing it now with him being up front with Beto.
That's Conor Cody from the Defenders Union, standing up for the scoring ability of all defenders.
Always, Conor. Always standing up for them.
I mean, I have to say that they're obviously short of celebrities to zoom in on the television screens here. They zoomed in on your illustrious self just a moment ago on live television. Famous people looking on.
It might have been you because of that flat cap, mate. It might have been you.
Very much you. This is Tarkowski's header. Flick on by Michael Keane. Now Beto. Can he get in between the two defenders? He gets the shot away, but Diop makes the block. Corner to Everton, and the Everton crowd find their voices again, and they believe this isn't over yet. That's what Michael Keane's been pushed forward to do.
Tell you what, they're going to have a good go here, Conor, for the last 5-6 minutes of the game. They're going to have a real good go with them two up front.
5 Live on BBC Sounds. Goodison Park under the floodlights this Saturday evening. Lindstrom's corner, that's terrible. He needed a good delivery there. Came in low and weak and easily cleared for Fulham. Ashley Young will try and resuscitate the move up into the penalty area, headed down by Tarkowski. Beto couldn't quite get it under his control with his back to goal, and Anthony Robinson is able to clear the ball away, and Jimenez heads it in front of Harry Wilson, and there's a chance of a counter-attack here for Fulham. Wilson infield of Ashley Young. Mikolenko tracked back well though, and he's able to touch it to Pickford, but Everton need it down the other end. Just over 2 minutes of normal time to go.
I think Sean Dyche will be absolutely fuming with the set plays tonight. I think he'll be absolutely fuming. They're big opportunities for Everton, and the delivery just not being right for Everton all night. And we've seen that's a big chance. All the big players on the pitch attacking the ball, and Lindstrom hits the first man. It's frustrating for Everton in them situations.
Yeah, we've seen the close-up on the television. You're right. Yeah, they were zooming in on me actually. Great to have Conor Cody with us back on Merseyside tonight here at Goodison Park, but his old team Everton are heading towards defeat unless they can provide a late spark here. Tarkowski gives it to Young, he wallops it forward from inside his own half, but it's straight to Kenny Tete, who controls that like a dolphin at SeaWorld holding a ball. He was just kind of dribbling it down his chest and onto his knee, and he still held onto it, and now there's a through ball played in front of Reece Nelson, but too far in front of him, and that'll be shepherded out for a goal kick by Jordan Pickford, who's got no time to waste here. He's got to get it back down the other end. We're about to go into the 90th minute. Frustrations for Everton because Pickford's the ball was still moving as he took the goal kick, and the referee John Brooks says, hey, the rules are the rules, and he makes them take it again. And Everton, who are trying to build some momentum, had to go back and start that move again. Here is Ashley Young on the right hand side. Is there to be late drama here? There's been so many late goals in the Premier League this season. Fulham hoping they can hold on for a much needed 1-0 win. Mangala to Lindstrom, looking to find Mikalenko here, up from left back. He's got Kenny Tete directly in front of him. It's a right-footed cross. Beto's header on target, saved by Leno. He went for the bottom left-hand corner. There wasn't a huge amount of power on the header, but he did have defenders all over him. It's not a bad effort for Beto, but Leno makes the save.
Yeah, it's better from Everton. It's a good ball in, but that's what Everton need to do. Just put it into an area. You don't have to take the leather off the ball. You don't have to smash it across goal. Just put it into an area and let Beto or Michael Keane attack it, and let's see what happens.
Fulham have worked hard for this. If they do hold on for the win, they've had more passes in this game today than in any other Premier League match this season. Throw in for the visitors on the right hand side, and Harry Wilson, of course, is a former Liverpool player back on Merseyside tonight, takes his time over it. Right, you'd have heard that in the background. 6 minutes to be added on. 6 minutes for Everton to try and pull this out of the fire tonight. Everton 0, Fulham 1. The goal from Iwobi. Everton who had a goal disallowed in the first half. Calvert-Lewin adjudged to be offside. This is Bassey playing it forward. Michael Keane for Everton, straight to Anthony Robertson. Anywhere will do for Fulham at the moment. Branthwaite on the edge of his own penalty area. Offside flag is raised against Raul Jimenez anyway, so it's a free kick to Everton. Free kick taken immediately. We've already played 45 seconds of stoppage time. Idrissa Gana up to Beto. Slightly casual layoff, which is straight to Anthony Robinson. Lindstrom works hard to try and get it back again. Everton do regain possession, but they're back inside their own half. Branthwaite's given it away, straight to Robinson. Fulham just need cool heads now. Game management, see this through for the closing minutes, and they can take 3 points back to London tonight. Here's Reece Nelson, unable to hold on to possession. Mangala does well for Everton. The ever energetic, youthful legs of Ashley Young bring Everton forward once more. Huge shouts of man on for Mangala from the crowd. Idrissa Gana tries to play it out to the left wing towards Ndai, but it's too close to Kenny Tete. Groans from the Everton crowd. Fulham get it back again, but Raul Jimenez isn't able to release Wilson down the right wing, and Fulham are going to try and just run the clock down even further by making a double change in stoppage time now. They're going to bring on Muniz, and they're going to bring on Cuenca. So a defender and a striker about to come on. Muniz will replace Raul Jimenez in attack. Jimenez, who's run his socks off today, but hasn't been able to continue his goal-scoring run. And Rodrigo Muniz, who had that wonderful hot streak last season when he scored 8 goals in 8 Premier League games, he comes on for one of the very closing minutes here. It is Alex Iwobi, the goal scorer, who makes way for Fulham to allow Cuenca on. So that is a defender on for a midfielder.
Yeah, obviously Fulham are trying to hold on to the lead now, but Raul Jimenez has been brilliant. He's been brilliant. That just goes to show his performance today, that he's not just all about goals. He brings so much more to a team. I know that firsthand, but he brings so much more to a team than just his goals in terms of his link-up play and how he brings people into the game as well.
This is Tarkowski, centre circle for Everton, playing from right to left, running out of time dramatically. Michael Keane in the penalty area, tries to flick on a header, it's too far in front of Beto. Michael Keane, who's gone forward to play as a striker in these closing stages, and continually Everton are looking and finding him in the penalty area, but he couldn't find a teammate there.
Honestly, it's crazy, isn't it? He's good in them situations, he really is. He's top in the air anyway, I think we all know that. But even putting the ball back into an area there for someone to attack, just Everton never had anyone on the end of it.
Scored in the home defeat to Bournemouth, Michael Keane. Scored in the win at Ipswich last weekend. Could he provide late fireworks here? 3 minutes now have been played of the 6, so we're midway through stoppage time. Everton 0, Fulham 1 on 5 Live. Arsenal against Liverpool to come tomorrow at 4:30. One of 4 Premier League games you can listen to on BBC Radio Sport. This is Pickford coming way outside his penalty area, launching it towards the Fulham box. Cuenca, who's just come on, wins the header. Fulham's number 15. Ashley Young in a tangle with Reece Nelson on the far side. It's Tarkowski who eventually gets control of the ball. Lindstrom tries to take on Cuenca, and the ball goes out of play for an Everton throw. No time to waste. This is attacking position. Right hand side of the pitch as Everton come forward, level with the edge of the penalty area. Thrown by Young to Mangala. Several blue shirts in the penalty. Tarkowski's gone up to join Michael Keane now. Both central defenders who started the game are up as centre forwards now. They might as well lose this 2-0 as not give everything for an equaliser. Indai plays it in. No one marking the back post. Beto has done it! Ashley Young pulls it back for Beto! And Everton drag it out of the fire! It's going to be 5 games unbeaten. It looked very likely that Everton were going to lose here. But in the 5th minute of stoppage time, Everton's never say die attitude delivers a priceless equalising goal.
I tell you what, Con, if there was ever an Everton goal, that was it. A cross into the box, a deep cross. Ashley Young keeping it alive and putting it back across the box, and Beto there to nod it up. It's actually a really good goal. The first ball in is fantastic, but the composure from Ashley Young just to knock it back across and Beto to tap it. Fulham will be absolutely devastated.
Fulham, who already before today have dropped 8 points from winning positions in the Premier League this season, have they just allowed a victory to slip through their grasp here? Everton, who for all their attempts weren't really threatening Bernd Leno's goal, but Beto reacting when he needed to, bundling it home from close range, and Everton have got it back to 1-1 right at the very end. We've got about a minute and a half to go.
I don't think Everton have been great today, Conor, but what they've done, they've stayed in the game. They've stayed in the game, and you know at any point in the game, if it's only 1-0, something can change. And Ashley Young does ever so well keeping it alive at the back post, just to knock it back across, and it's a great finish from Beto.
Marco Silva looks very disappointed down there. His tactics look to be paying dividends, but it ain't over till it's over. We mentioned how many late changes of narrative we've had in the top flight this season, and it's another rewrite for the written journos here, because Everton have pulled a goal right from the very embers of this game. It's not over yet. Here's Diop for Fulham, and they've resorted back into defensive mode. Can they transition back into a more attacking mindset here? Not easy with the changes they've made, but Diop has won a free kick here, and it's an opportunity to push a few bodies forward, and that's what they're going to do. An opportunity maybe for Fulham to try and regain the lead again, and now that would break Everton hearts. We've got 45 seconds of the... No, we haven't. We've gone over. We've got 20 seconds over the 6 minutes. My apologies. So we played more than the time that was due to be added on. Alex Iwobi, who departed the field thinking that his goal was going to win the game, but Everton and Beto had other ideas. Free kick to be taken by Harrison Reed for Fulham, midway into the Everton half. Michael Keane, who's very much back defensive duty again now, wins the header there, but he hasn't fully cleared his lines. Reece Nelson out on the left wing for Fulham. Loads of white shirts in the centre if he can work it in. This is Sanderberger, edge of the box, onto his right boot. Turns Beto, turns back again, rolls it for Harrison Reed, just outside the box. Shoots, but shoots too high. It sails over Pickford's head, and the referee brings the whistle to his mouth, and he blows the final whistle, and it finishes a point each. A point each and a goal each. Both of the goals coming in the second half. Iwobi, who gave Fulham the lead, into deepness of stoppage time, but Everton refused to give in, and they have got the equaliser. Big finish that for Sean Dyche, Conor Cody.
Yeah, and it'll feel like a win for Sean Dyche. Listen, being 1-0 down and scoring in the last minute is really, really big for any team, but I think Fulham will be absolutely gutted to concede the way they did from a cross, understanding how good Everton are at crosses into the box. They've worked on it all week, and then they go and concede a goal like that, and they've done it really, really well all night. So, no, I think in the end it turned out to be a good game for us, Conor, didn't it?
Yeah, it's now become 5 Premier League games without a defeat for Sean Dyche. The tide for Everton would appear to be turning. Everton no longer the soft touch that they appeared to be in the early weeks of the campaign. They showed resilience, they showed resolve, they kept their cool as the game appeared to be slipping away for them. And for Beto, his first Premier League goal of the season, how important is that? Everton won, Fulham won. Let's go to the Stonex Stadium. Saracens, Leicester Tigers and Chris Jones.
Full time, Saracens 29, Leicester 32. Before today, Leicester hadn't won here in 6.5 years, but they've held on for a deserved win despite 2 late Saracens tries, which set up a grandstand finish. Sarries missed the chance to go top. It's Bath who lead the Premiership tonight, but Leicester's revolution under Michael Checker continues. That's 5 wins in 6 under their new boss. Saracens 29, Leicester 32.
Thanks very much, Chris. Speaking of rugby, the Autumn Internationals begin next Saturday live on 5 Live and Sports Extra. It begins with England against New Zealand. You can listen to that on 5 Live Sports Extra next Saturday afternoon. All over here at Goodison, 1-1. What about Pittodrie, Aberdeen and Dundee United? Kenny Crawford.
Dimitar Mitov kicks the ball out, and there goes the full-time whistle. Aberdeen 1, Dundee United 0 after 98 minutes of football. Hang about, because it's nearly November and Aberdeen are 3 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. It's now 15 games undefeated for Jimmy Tillene's Dons, and 14 of those have been wins. They had to be patient for their latest victory because Peter Ambrose's strike didn't arrive until the 84th minute. The Nigerian sub thumping home from 6 yards. Before that, United goalkeeper Jack Walton had worked wonders in repelling Aberdeen. The caveat is that second place Celtic have their game in hand at Motherwell tomorrow. Dundee United stay fourth. Life is good in the Granite City. Full time, Aberdeen 1, Dundee United 0.
What a story for Aberdeen. They are keeping it going here at Goodison. Well, the Everton fans are put through the ringer, Conor Cody, in the second half there, but they will leave much more satisfied because of that Beto equaliser. And do you think this tide has turned for Sean Dyche now? Because they've endured a lot over the last 18 months beyond these Everton fans. Is it a time that they now look towards the top half of the table and not just down to the relegation zone below?
Yeah, 100%. I mentioned at the start of the show, Conor, with yourself about Sean Dyche would never have panicked at the start of the season. He understands this. He's been in it before. He'll understand it's no time to panic, and he'll get his team through it like we're seeing now. And the one thing the Everton fans have had today is maybe not the greatest performance. I think we'll all admit that. But their team have stayed in it, and they've stayed in it to the end. And Beto's come on, and Michael Keane went up front. Ashley Young kept it alive, and it was a great goal. So that's what they've had, is their team staying in the game. And listen, they've got a point out of it in the end, and they'll take it and they'll move on. And like you said, it's 5 unbeaten now.
It's been great having Conor Cody with us for the commentary this evening at Goodison. Everton 1, Fulham 1. Iwobi putting Fulham in front. Beto, though, with the late equaliser on a day when there was late goals in the Premier League. Evan Nielsen got a 96th-minute equaliser for Bournemouth away at Aston Villa. There was great late drama in the game between Brentford and Ipswich, which finished 4-3 to Brentford in the end. Late goals for Wolves from Aït-Nouri and Cunha to talk about as well on 6:06, which is coming up on 5 Live after the news with Jill McKenzie.